Today, we'll be collecting just about every Daedric artifact across all the mainline Elder Scrolls games, except Arena. But don't worry, there's a good reason for that. I set out on this journey to get a better idea of not only who the princes are, but where they came from. Not lore-wise, but rather how they developed as new games were developed. It makes sense to start with Arena since it's the first Elder Scrolls game, but there's a problem. Daedric princes didn't exist yet. Some of their names were floating around, and even some of Arena's artifacts would later become Daedric artifacts. In fact, the Ebony Mail in Arena mentions it was gifted to a mortal by the Dark Elven goddess Boethia. So you could argue that Arena had Daedric artifacts spiritually, but not technically. That said, I can get one artifact, and you'll know the exact same process for getting every artifact. I'm not kidding. You literally ask around town in a given province until an NPC gives you a rumor about an artifact, one of several. You follow that lead, pay a guy you meet in an inn for information, and head off to a dungeon that contains not the artifact itself, but a map to the dungeon that actually contains the artifact. You explore the first dungeon, which is mind-numbingly simple, then you go to the second dungeon, which is basically the same as the first, but procedurally generated slightly differently. Then, you get the artifact. Hooray! Do this for all of them. It's not terribly interesting. There are no princes, there's no cool sprite art, none of that. And only 6 of the artifacts in Arena actually become Daedric artifacts. The Ebony Mail, the Ebony Blade, the Ring of Khajiit, Spellbreaker, Volendrung, and the Skeleton Key. What is interesting is the flavor text for these artifacts did carry over to Yagrum Bagarn's Tamrielic lore, in which the Master Crafter in Tamriel's Last Living Dwarf describes Tamriel's many artifacts. The DNA is there. You can see where the ideas began. But there's no Daedric princes, no Daedric quests. Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim though? That's Daedra territory. How have the interpretations of the princes changed? Well, let's do it all, and you can come to your own conclusions. Of course, I'll be supplying my own correct opinions, but you're free to have wrong ones. This video is going to be long. Get cozy. I struggled with how I wanted to organize this video. Do we go game by game, prince by prince, artifact by artifact? I decided a chronological exploration of the princes seems best. We'll get a better idea of how they change between games that way. So we're starting with Daggerfall. Daggerfall Unity, that is. Daggerfall Unity doesn't actually change Daggerfall much, it's just a better engine, so the game is less of a chore to play. Summoning all of the Daedric princes in Daggerfall is going to require us to take out a lot of bank loans. Genuinely, we need money. Our credit limit per province is affected by our overall level, which is why we're building this character with several magic skills as primaries and majors, and why we're taking critical weaknesses as disadvantages. The goal is to get that little sword symbol to sit just above the red bar at the bottom of this meter. We'll level faster that way. The minutia doesn't really matter though. But why do we need gold? Summoning princes in Oblivion just requires glow dust or nightshades. Well, several factions in this game offer Daedra summoning services once you reach a high enough rank. For the paltry fee of 200,000 gold, you too can speak with a Daedric prince. There is a slight discount, scaled by your rank of course. Seniority has its perks. Some factions won't summon certain princes because they consider those princes enemies. The Mages Guild has no qualms with any of the Daedra, so we'll be joining the Mages Guild. They summon Daedra of all kinds, and we only need to be rank 6 for them to do it. And their quests are trivially easy, such as casting the sleep spell on someone. Go to place, cast a spell, return within the allotted time, and earn reputation with the guild. While we do these quests, we spam cast some custom-made spells to level up our magic skills, both for the benefit of our character level, so we can take out bigger loans, and because faction ranks also have skill level requirements. It doesn't take terribly long to level up, but it's not terribly interesting, so we'll skip all that. Same with the guild quests. All you do is refuse quests from the mages until you get the sleep quest, and do that like 20 times to reach the required rank. In the non-Unity version, you can't simply reject quests like this, but you could just save the game and keep reloading until you get the quest you want. So it's basically the same. For easy levels, you can just sit inside an inn and spam spells. Rest until you're healed, and spam more spells. Yeah, it costs money to sleep in an inn, but you can just take out another bank loan from a different province. As soon as we reach the rank of Warlock, we can visit the local evil wizard and pay him to summon a Daedric prince. But how do we specify which prince we want to meet? We don't. Daedra can only be summoned on their summoning day, once per year. Isn't that weird? It's currently the 23rd of Sun's Height, and the next summoning day is Nocturnals, on the 8th of Hearthfire. The fastest way to wait in Daggerfall is to travel back and forth across the map. There's a bit of a catch with Daedra summoning, so it costs a fair bit, and it can only be done on specific days, but it can also fail. You pay the wizard 200,000 gold, and nothing happens. A scam if you ask me. But we're scamming all the banks all over the Iliac Bay, so I guess I can't be too mad. You might think we could just save scum the summons, but I think there's a global seed for the random number generation. I kept resetting between each attempt, but Nocturnal just wouldn't show up. So I paid this con artist 4 times in a row, and she did finally show up. To test this, I reloaded the save, and she once again didn't show up until I tried summoning her 4 times. I'ma skip the save scumming. It's faster to take out loans. Every province has a bank, and there's like 50 provinces. And you can get like 500,000 gold from a bank. Like, it's ridiculous. The gold in this game doesn't matter. The Daedric Prince of Night, Darkness, and Mystery appears, standing in front of a swirling galaxy, implying several things about Mundus's cosmology. It could also just be one of those standard zoom backgrounds. Like most Daggerfall quests, the quest we get from Nocturnal is sort of random. She sends us to a location in the same province we summoned her to, and orders us to kill a mage in his lair. She also gives us the name and location of one of her followers. Once the mage is dead, we're to go to that follower and claim our reward, the skeleton key. When we find the mage, he offers promises of a better artifact in exchange for his life, the Staff of Magnus. He's lying, of course, so we reject the offer, beat him with our warhammer, and claim the first of many Daedric artifacts. The skeleton key not only comes with an open spell, which you can cast as many times as the item's health allows. In Daggerfall, enchanted items eventually degrade to nothing. But it's also an amulet. Wearing it grants 15 points to the dodging skill, a little different than later incarnations. This is basically how all the Daggerfall Daedric quests will work. The beginning of the quests are interesting because we get to see Bethesda's first interpretations of the princes. The ends of the quests are interesting because we get a unique artifact. The quests themselves, eh. The 8th of Frostfall is the summoning day of Malakath, Prince of Lies, Deception, and Hypocrisy. As of Daggerfall, that is. His sphere has changed a bit since then. He still has an association with orcs, since he's straight up an orc wearing a WWE belt. Although this was 1996, so it was a WWF belt, back when they used to wrestle pandas. Malakath granted a little Panacosa, which I'm pretty sure is a bread company, power and beauty, but it resisted his will, so he'd like us to kill it. We killed it. I told you the quests aren't much to write home about. This is the guy we get the reward from? A true Malakath worshipper if I ever saw one. We're given Volendrung, a dwarven warhammer, and it's maintained that association with dwarves, later called Dwemer, ever since. Here in Daggerfall, it casts Paralysis and Vampiric Touch on strike. Not a bad weapon. The 13th of Frostfall is the summoning day of Mephala, Prince of Murder, Lies, Deception, Sex, and Secrets. The Black Widow motif works well, methinks, although she does look like she's going to a Halloween party. She wants us to assassinate a minor noble. Go to place, kill a dude. Our reward is the Ebony Blade, an ebony katana with several enchantments. When equipped, it fortifies our long blade by 15 points. We can use it to cast Far Silence on target, and on strike, it casts Vampiric Touch and Energy Leech, absorbing the enemy's health and fatigue. I'm actually glad the Daggerfall Daedric quests aren't very detailed. It allows us to focus on the prince's inaugural appearances in the series, rather than the journey they send us on. Gonna grab another loan real quick. The 2nd of Sun's Dusk is the summoning day of the prince with my favorite design out of all the Daggerfall princes, Boethia. Look at her. And yes, her. She's one of the princes that has switched back and forth between games. And it's not a retcon. Princes aren't bound by mortal concepts such as gender and limbs with bones. I really like how androgynous Boethia is here. It's odd though, since Mephala is known as the androgyne, even though she's always been presented as explicitly female. She is the anticipation of Vivek, but I don't know. Boethia is the prince of plots, of cruelty, and of torture. She wants us to kill Victivira Gerton. That name looks like an optical illusion. From Boethia, we receive the Ebony Mail, an ebony plate cuirass with an on-use enchantment that casts Resist Fire, Shield, and Spell Shield. A couple weeks after Boethia's summoning day, the 20th of Sun's Dusk, is the summoning day of Mehrunes Dagon, Prince of Ambition, of Disaster, and of Destruction. Of weird grammar too. Want you the Mehrunes Razor? Is very special, the Mehrunes Razor. Very nice, yes, yes. He talks like an orc peon from Warcraft. The Razor is an ebony dagger with the stats of an orcish dagger. Victims of the Razor must save versus magic, or be slain. Resist the effect, or instantly die. Powerful, but the artifact's health is reduced by the amount of damage it does. That is, the opponent's remaining health. Use it wisely. The 20th of Evening Star is the summoning day of Molag Bal, Prince of Domination. And other things. A bit greener than you'd think he'd be. Oh, the Daedra Summoner moonlights as a Molag Bal acolyte. Our reward is the Mace of Molag Bal, a Daedric mace that drains both spell points and strength on strike. The first of Morningstar is the summoning day of Clavicus Vile, Prince of Trickery and Bargains. Little imp boy and his trusty dog companion, although the pup looks a touch, grumpy. He wants us to kill a werewolf. A little different this time around. This gaunt and sickly looking lady gives us the Mask of Clavicus as a reward. Not the Mask of Clavicus Vile, just the Mask of Clavicus. Is the imp Clavicus and the dog Vile? Probably not. When worn, the mask acts as a permanent charm effect, boosting our disposition with others, and you wear it in the ring slot for some reason. The 13th of Morningstar is the summoning day of Meridia, Daedric Prince of Life and Light. Later lore suggests she may have been an Et Ada, one of the original spirits that fled Mundus with Magnus, creating the stars and the sun. She did something to anger Magnus, and was thus banished from Aetherius, so she adopted the title of Daedric Prince and created her very own realm of Oblivion. Although this wasn't lore at the time of Daggerfall, and it wasn't even official lore until the Elder Scrolls Online started making lore books containing this information. She comes across very motherly in Daggerfall. She made an arrangement with a sorcerer, but the sorcerer didn't hold up his end of the bargain. Such ungallant behavior is fatal. Our reward is the Ring of Khajiit. On use, it grants invisibility. When worn, it grants the Feat of Nautergo, fortifying our speed, but our speed is already 100, so it does nothing. The second of Sun's Dusk is the summoning day of Sheogorath, Daedric Prince of Madness. Funny thing about Sheo, there is a slight chance he'll show up when you summon a different prince. I wasn't unlucky enough to have that happen. Could have been fun. See, he says, I bet you weren't expecting me, even though we were summoning him. Chalk it up to madness, and not Daggerfall only having a single introductory line for Sheo. He'd like to invite a battle mage to tea. Oh, no wait, not to tea. He wants us to kill him. These things are easy to confuse with one another. Oh, how wacky. Our reward is none other than the Wabbajack. On strike, it turns our opponent into another type of creature, but only once. Oh, madness. The 16th of Sun's Dawn is the summoning day of Sanguine, Daedric Prince of Revelry and Debauchery. Judging by the way he's holding that woman, perhaps not as lighthearted as the later interpretations make him out to be. We got a priest to kill. That's a priest, apparently. The Sanguine Rose. With it, we can summon a lesser Daedra to fight for us. The 5th of First Seed is the summoning day of Hermaeus Mora. Imagine someone playing this game for the first time, some 14-year-old in 1996. They summon the other princes, and they're all rather human-looking. A couple have extra arms, but they're all sorta normal. And then you got this thing, an octopus crab blob covered in eyes. Our target offers a cuirass as a down payment for what she owes Hermaeus Mora, hoping that'll be enough to spare Mora's wrath. From Hermaeus Mora's cultist, we get the Augma Infinium. It has a one-time use that allows us to allocate 30 points across our attributes. A single level nets you between 4 and 6 attributes, so this book is pretty damn good. The 21st of First Seed is the summoning day of Azura, Prince of Dawn and Dusk, but also of Vanity. In later games, she's not really known as the Prince of Vanity, but she is kind of vain. She's very good at holding grudges. A priest has been saying very, very rude things about her, and she'd like us to kill him. Yeah, that sounds like Azura. Her design, though, I'm sure won't change in the next few games. For our service, Azura bestows us with Azura's Star, a reusable soul gem. Yes, soul gems and enchanting are things in Daggerfall. I just never really did much with it. We summon a bunch of humanoids, then a crabtopus creature, and then a topless woman. I'm assuming the crab was a fluke, an outlier. What? The 9th of Rain's Hand is the summoning day of Periite, Daedric Prince of Pestilence and Natural Order. Why is he a dragon? I don't know. Maybe the later games will have an answer, or at least help generate a specific headcanon that we can discuss. Nudge nudge. Periite hands over Spellbreaker, a dwarven tower shield that provides spell reflection when equipped and can be used to cast free action, curing paralysis. The 9th of Second Seed is the summoning day of Namira, Daedric Prince of Hunger. Her sphere will expand in later installments. At least we're back to normal-looking, well, humanoid princes. Oh, she's got a little gremlin with her. You'd never believe what she wants us to do. The Ring of Namira, when equipped, causes our opponent to take damage from their own attacks. But just like Mehrunes Razor, the artifact's health drains based on how much damage it deals. Once it's out of juice, it's gone, so use it wisely. The 10th of Sun's Height is the summoning day of Vernima, Daedric Prince of Dreams and Typos. Did you know you could tell if you're dreaming by reading something, looking away, and then looking back? If the text is different, you're probably dreaming. Vermina looks like Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. And that movie came out after Daggerfall, so Disney copied Bethesda, I can't believe it. Our reward is the Skull of Corruption. When used, it creates a clone of your opponent, which it then attacks. One prince left. Hircine, Daedric Prince of the Hunt. His summoning day is the 5th of mid-year, just before Vermina's summoning day. But I somehow forgot to record his summoning, and forgot to record his quest. Fortunately, Hircine can be summoned year-round if you go to a witch coven. That does give me the opportunity, however, to show you what happens when you summon a Daedric Prince a second time. While we wander around Daggerfall's giant map, wow, so big, bigger than Skyrim's, whoa, amazing, I'll tell you what you missed with Hircine's quest. We summon him, he tells us to kill a werebore, we kill the werebore, and our reward is Hircine's ring. This ring allows the bearer to shift back and forth between their werebeast form on a whim. They will never again shift during a full moon, and no longer do they have to hunt innocents. It's useless for non-lycanthropes. We pay the witches, and they summon Hircine, but since we've already summoned him once before, he tells us to go away. Also, his sprite is friggin' awesome looking, tied with Boethia, definitely. As a parting gift, we're attacked by a bunch of Daedra seducers. I actually think all of the princes summon seducers when you do this, except maybe Periite. He's actually kinda chill about the whole thing. It would have been really neat if they summoned sphere-relevant monsters, but 1996, what can you do? Morrowind's a bit different when it comes to, well, a lot of things. But we're talking about Daedric artifacts in this video, and of course, Morrowind treats them differently too. I've said this a few times on stream, Morrowind is the least Elder Scrolls game. Sit on that for a minute. Our build isn't that important, that's not the point of this video, but I figured since we're working for the Daedra, we ought to be a Dunmer. And since we're a Dunmer, we'll take advantage of the skill bonuses they come with. Bit of Destruction, Short Blade, Light Armor, a Spell Sword. Every Morrowind run, more or less, starts the same way. Joining guilds, stealing stuff, buying spells and incantations for those who have the talent to cast them. Typical things that aren't terribly important to mention for this video. I've got plenty of other Morrowind videos if you're curious what those starts look like. And today, I don't feel like cheesing Morrowind too much because I feel like it detracts from the experience, both for the person playing and, in my unique case, for the viewer. But one form of cheese I think adds to the gameplay is a tiny itty-bitty bit of pause screen buff cheese. From Lithinu Hlalu, we buy the spell Magic Guard, and use it to spell make a 100-point resist magicka spell that lasts for a single second. The spell is appropriately named Wear the Boots. You'll understand why soon enough. From Ajira, we buy a bunch of small Kwama eggs and crab meat, only to create a healthy amount of fatigue potions, which also happens to get us a character level. And before leaving Balmora, we swing by Revere and buy a Devil Tonto, a weak short blade with a powerful enchantment. It conjures a bound dagger for 60 seconds, a weapon stronger than its non-bound equivalent. With this short blade, we go to Caldera, follow the path northwest out of this tiny mining town, and negotiate a price for Pemini's boots, the boots of blinding speed. They fortify our speed by 200 points at the cost of blinding us for 100 points, but we can reduce the strength of that blind effect with a resist magicka effect. 100% magicka resistance completely nullifies the blind, and that's where the pause screen buff cheese comes in. We only need the magicka resistance when we equip the boots, for that singular instant. Once the effect is resisted, it's permanently resisted. So we cast the Wear the Boots spell, open our inventory, pausing the world, and throw on the boots. The negative effect is resisted, and the positive effect remains. We have 200 extra points of speed with no drawbacks. Might want to turn off footstep sounds though. The first artifact we'll be grabbing is in the city of Vivec, in the Foreign Quarters Canal Works. At the back of Simine Ferline's bookshop is a level 65 locked door. Using a custom open spell we made, we crack the lock and come face to face with Gentleman Jim Stacy, leader of the Thieves Guild. By taunting him over and over, we goad him into attacking us, making it perfectly legal for us to kill him. Self-defense and all that. Even his buddy, Crazy Legs Arantamo, won't help. Jim's no slouch, what with his Daedric short sword and 159 points of health, but with a bit of patience and a few fire bites, he loses the fight, and all his loot becomes our loot. The Daedric short sword we can sell. What we really want is the skeleton key. Like Daggerfall, our first artifact is the skeleton key. It's a bit different though. Rather than being an unbreakable lockpick, like we see in later games, or an item with a spell, like in Daggerfall, it's instead just a really powerful lockpick. No different than Morrowind's other lockpicks, except this one is just very high quality. 20 security, 40 agility, and 40 luck, and full fatigue, and you will pick every level 100 lock, without fail. But again, it's only got 50 uses, so use it wisely. Now that we've got what's probably the best utility artifact in the game, let's say we do some Daedric quests. In the northwestern corner of Vvardenfell are the Daedric ruins of Ysamadan. In these ruins, we find a shrine to Mehrunes Dagon. There are some scamps and cultists in the way, but we are only level 2.
Why do you call on me, little mortal? Do you seek your death so soon? I should crush you where you stand. Yet you show mettle by even approaching me. How ambitious are you, little one? Would you like a chance to prove your worth to me?
Is that you, Dagoth? He speaks a bit more eloquently than he did in Daggerfall. Perhaps we shouldn't have expected any less from the Lord of Change. An interesting thing about Morrowind, the princes talk through the mouth of the player character.
You are brave, or foolish. Perhaps both. This, then, is your chance to prove your courage. My razor, slayer of man and myrrh, scourge of all who stand before it, lies dormant, stolen by an unworthy bearer, an elf of little courage or consequence. It lies unused, gathering dust in the Alas tomb near Molag Mar. Return it to me, mortal. Prove yourself to be a worthy bearer of Mehrunes' razor. It's likely a programming convenience. How can we get the voice to follow the player? Make the player speak the lines. I like to imagine it's in-universe behavior. Because of the Dragonfires and the Cold Harbor Compact, princes can only manifest in Mundus through mortals or as avatars. Even their voices are barred unless a mortal permits the prince to use their very own body as a conduit for their voice. Fun to imagine. The Dagger Dagon Danes we discover is in southeastern Vvardenfell, north of Molag Mar, in the Alice Ancestral Tomb. Nothing like a little grave robbing to get into the Morrowind spirit.
I have you.
Oh, I don't usually like wearing the Dark Brotherhood armor for a lot of my runs. It's a bit overpowered, but today, who cares? Let's take it. Gotta keep the hat though. Outside the tomb is a skeleton. Standard practice for Dunmer tombs. They frown upon necromancy, barring a few exceptions. The most convincing exception being, shut up, Outlander. Inside are Daedra, a fire Atronach, but we're a Dunmer, so fireballs are a little more than a tickle. We've also got an Ogrim. Typically, Ogrim don't start showing up until around level 15, when the random Daedra spawns start pulling from higher leveled lists. This Ogrim is a static spawn. Think of it like a boss fight. They're a bit like bears. The animals, the ones you find on Solstheim. Like them, the Ogrim have a rather potent restore health buff constantly healing them, so you gotta do damage to them pretty quick before they heal back the damage you just did. Seems we aren't done. There's a Storm Atronach and a Clan Fear to deal with too. Once they're dead, we claim the rusty dagger from Varner Hlaris' corpse, and return it to Mehrunes Dagon with the good news.
You found my razor. Good. Can you feel its hunger? Can you feel its frustration? Now I will make it again what it once was, what it shall always be. Draw a line of blood across the land in the name of Mehrunes Dagon.
The razor is quite a bit different this time around. Disintegrate armor, weakness to poison, and poison damage, all on strike. It's not awful, but poison isn't the best damage type, and disintegrating armor is pretty niche. Might as well play around with it for a bit though. Malakat's up next. His shrine is in the Sheagorad region, those islands along the northern coast of Vvardenfell, within the ruins of Asur Dirapal. As is usually the case, there are cultists populating the shrine, or maybe they're just plain old bandits. They're orcs, so I assume they're pilgrims paying Big Brother a visit.
You have summoned me. Humph! You are all the same, but perhaps you can be of use to me. I have in my possession the helm of Orion Bearclaw, the Dark Elven hero. His deeds are numerous, but he was a false hero. All were performed by Karak Brokar, his orcish friend. It is time this legend was put to rest. Find the last of his bloodline, kill him, and I will grant you the helm. Look for him in the city where the man-god lives.
The man-god is Vivek. The guy we're looking for lives in Vivek. You can ask people in Vivek about Orion Bearclaw, or you could just go straight to where the guy you gotta kill is. Southwest of Narmok, we find several dead Netches, and a trio of adventurer types. Our target is the one wearing the Dwemer armor, Farvin Orain, the last of Orion Bearclaw's bloodline. But his friends will help defend him, so if we want to kill one, we gotta kill three. We only needed to kill Farvin, but it didn't feel right to leave orphans. Once they're all dead, we return to Malakath for our reward.
You have killed the false hero and ensured there will be no more to follow. You have helped bring back honor to the Orcish people, and for that, I am glad. Here, take the helm of Orion Bearclaw, wear it proudly, and let it serve as a reminder of what really happened.
The Helm of Orion Bearclaw, our first artifact deviation. Instead of Volendrung, we get a heavy armor helmet that fortifies our endurance and agility by 40 points each. Way better than Volendrung. And unfortunately, way better than the Colovian Fur helmet. Morrowind needs a transmog system. We've got a bit of loot to get rid of, so we pop over to Mournhold and sell it to Cadia Socia. The creature merchants are also an option, if we wanted to get the most out of this loot, but Cadia has more gold reserves than Creeper, so there's less shuffling you have to do. Yeah, the Mudcrab merchant has 10,000 gold too, but he's annoying to travel to. We'll be gathering a lot of loot through this run, and of course, a lot of loot is heavy. Not the loot is heavy, but a lot of loot is heavy. With only 54 strength, we don't have much wiggle room. We want to push that number a bit higher, but not by leveling up. Instead, we'll take a sip from the Bitter Cup. One could argue the Bitter Cup is a Daedric artifact, or at least the worshippers of Clavicus Vile view it as a holy relic, and that's close enough, I guess. The cup is in Aldredania, an abandoned Velothi tower on the western edge of the Sheogorath region. It's guarded by Skelly archers on the outside, and a Skelly war wizard on the inside. He's got the Vampiric ring, but I have Vampiric Suck. I spell-made an absorb health spell back in Morrowind. I sucked him before he could suck me, and we'll take the Vampiric ring while we're here. It's a helpful item. Sucks a bunch of health and fatigue while killing your target. So the Bitter Cup. It permanently increases your highest attribute by 20 points, and permanently decreases your lowest attribute by 20 points. We take a sip, and we gain 100 extra points of carry capacity, making our treasure hunting that much easier. Also, we'll be stronger. 20 points of strength is about 20% more damage. Low personality is a bit annoying, but not too hard to overcome, especially when you have money. If you read Tamrielic Lore, that book I mentioned earlier written by Yegrim Bagarn, Master Crafter and Tamriel's Last Living Dwarf, he talks about the Cuirass of the Savior's Hide being one of Hircine's many artifacts. And I don't know if it's pronounced Quiris, Quiras, Cuirass, Cuirass, whatever, I'm saying Cuirass. I don't even care. Anyway, the Cuirass of the Savior's Hide is not Hircine's artifact in Daggerfall, but it will show up again in later games as his artifact, so I think it should count as an artifact. In Morrowind, it's pretty easy to get, especially if you have the skeleton key. West of Sadrith Mora, on the western edge of the Zephyr Bell Bay, looms the Mushroom Tower Tel Fir, the fortress of one Devaithfir, a Telvanni wizard who could easily usurp the role of Telvanni Archmagister if he actually cared about such frivolous things. There's a reason no boat captains offer trips to his tower. Unlike the other Telvanni masters, he actually prefers to work alone. So much so, even his many wives are just female clones of himself. He's a strange one. In one of his cupboards, sealed with a level 100 lock, and equipped with a trap that we can just face tank, sits the Cuirass, forgotten and gathering dust. It's a light armor Cuirass with a permanent 60% magicka resistance effect on it, and its actual armor value is nothing to sneeze at either. Being a Telvanni, Devaithfir doesn't actually care if you steal his stuff. If you happen to pull it off, you deserve it more, so he won't miss it. We're also going to loot the Daedric Sanctuary Amulet from another level 100 lock chest. If we equip it, we teleport to Magus Volar, a pocket realm of Oblivion, ruled by Lord Dregus Volar. Killing him awards us the Daedric Crescent Blade. I don't think this counts as a Daedric artifact, but it is cool looking, and it is unique, so I figured we'd grab it while we're here. Leaving Tel Fir to the northwest brings us to Yen Seramis, another one of Vardenfell's many Daedric ruins. Past the cultists, stands a statue to Molag Bal, which only kinda looks like his Daggerfall incarnation. The same song, but a different key. He's got a quest for us.
Why do you summon me now? I have no time for your pleadings, weakling. I have other matters that need my attention. Mentana, he will pay for his insolence. Listen well. Those in my service will do my bidding, or they will suffer eternal torment. You will serve me, mortal. Mentana has grown careless and lazy. He sits in his wretched cave while life on the surface goes on unmolested. He was spawned a creature of terror. His role is to set his soul flying to the outer realms so that I might show him eternal torture for his disobedience.
Jeez, this guy just loves hearing himself talk. Imagine someone spending that much time talking, just monologuing. Ridiculous. Oh, I almost forgot. There's actually a second Daedric artifact in Telfir. We ought to get it while we're in the area. In the Corpusarium, where Dvaithfir keeps his patients/test subjects so he can learn more about the divine disease, Corpus, are a bunch of locked chests containing keys. You can do this whole puzzle scavenger hunt thing to open all the chests, or you could just have the skeleton key and skip to the end of the journey. Right next to Yegrum Bagarn, Mastercrafter and Tamriel's last living dwarf, is a level 100 chest containing Volendrung. Although it looks different, it is identical in stats to the Dwarven Warhammer. Underwhelming for something that was a Daedric artifact in the previous game, but we got it. There's no reason to carry all these artifacts around with us, especially with how heavy Volendrung is, so we're going to store them in the Rallen Hlalo First National Bank. If you're familiar with Morrowind, this makes sense. If you're not, he's a corpse that never despawns. And when NPCs get items in their inventory that are better than the items they currently have equipped, they'll equip them, even if they're dead. So we're playing dress up with his body. How fun. Back to helping Molag Bal. He wants us to kill Menta Na in the caverns of Kuradur, just outside Coggoran. The door is locked with a level 95 lock. Molag Bal is supposed to give you a key, but I walked out of the shrine before he did, so we never got it. Fortunately, Nocturnal guides us on this journey. He's not here. God damn it. Okay, we return to Molag Bal, we got the key, we go back to the cave, and yep, there he is. Menta Na, Daedroth. So, word of advice, don't walk away from a prince before he finishes talking to you. That our punishment is only a minor inconvenience speaks to the wonders of Bal's restraint. Bal restraint. Ugh, never mind. Menta Na drops a random Daedric weapon, by the way. This time it's a Daedric Daikatana worth 120k. Cool.
You have freed the soul of Menta Na. Torment will be his. Endless agony is all he will know until the end of time. You have performed well, mortal. Perhaps you will be my servant again one day. Take this and use it well. Bring strife and discord with you wherever you may travel. Now, go!
Our reward for doing Molag Bal this favor is the Mace of Molag Bal, just as was the case in Daggerfall. On strike, it absorbs both the target's strength and magicka. This is one of only 2 sources of magicka absorption in Morrowind, the other being the Scroll of Mana Rape. No surprise that this weapon comes from Molag Bal. It's actually a pretty good utility for a mage running the Atronach sign. Need some magicka but don't want to drink a potion? Mace of Molag Bal. So far, we've collected 3 of 4 artifacts belonging to the House of Troubles, but we haven't so much as talked about the 3 good Daedra. You know, the Princes of Prophecy, Murder, and Cruelty, the good ones. Azura has a shrine in southeastern Vardenfell, and unlike the shrines to the House of Troubles, her shrine is free of enemies. Free of anyone. Symbolism.
You have come here for a reason, though you may not know what it is. Sheogorath and I have made a wager. He contends that solitude causes madness, while I maintain it allows for solace and meditation. To test this, I sent one of my priestesses to live alone on an island north of Daggerfall. If she can live there for 100 years, continuing her life of prayer, my theory will be proven. If not, Sheogorath wins our wager. The time has almost passed, and she remains steadfast. But Sheogorath has tried to sway the decision in his favor. Travel there, rid the island of his minions, and bring back proof of his meddling. Do not disturb the wise woman, though, as that would void our wager. Serve me, and I will reward you well.
Got a real Job situation going on here. On the opposite side of Vardenfell, back in the Sheogorath region, there lives a devotee to Azura who has spent the last 100 years in solitude. Isn't Bethesda lucky that Gabriel Garcia Marquez wasn't as litigious as Nintendo? To prevent Sheo from interfering with the wager, we need to bring proof of his meddling to Azura. The island where the priestess has been secluded for the last 100 years is beset by Daedra, including one golden saint, a minion of Sheogorath. But this isn't just any golden saint. This is Stada, one of the saints you meet during the Shivering Isles DLC in Oblivion. Because golden saints have such potent souls, and they aren't in high supply until much later in the game, I made sure to buy a soul trap spell and a grand soul gem before coming here. What will we use her soul for? I don't know, but it's good to have. Once she's dead, we loot Sheogorath's signet ring from her corpse and return it to Azura as proof of the Mad God's meddling.
Well done, mortal. You have preserved the integrity of my wager with Sheogorath. Now it will end as fated, and not due to the meddling of the Daedra Prince. Take this, and use it wisely.
In return, she gives us her star, Azura's star, a reusable soul gem with no upper limit. You can fit any soul in this baby, even the soul of a god. Boethia, the anticipation of Amalexia, according to Temple Doctrine, and Daedric Prince of Cruelty and Torture had a shrine west of Balmora. It sank under the waves ages ago, long forgotten. More symbolism. Azura's shrine is abandoned, Boethia's is sunken. The Dunmer have new gods now.
What do you want with me, mortal? My shrine?
Seems right that his shrine would be surrounded by nasty wildlife. Yeah, Boethia's a guy now. Less androgynous too, but that's not super obvious right now since we're just looking at a head.
What do you want with me, mortal? My shrine is in ruins. My priests have forgotten me. Will you rebuild my shrine, mortal? Restore it in all its glory? Accomplish this, and I will reward you. You will be the bearer of Goldbrand, my sword of legend. There is one who can help you do this for me. Listen. Rough hands to smooth stone, carving rock instead of bone. In Caldera, an artist waits, his masterpiece to create. Find the one who may shape the rock. Go.
Boethia demands that we carve him a new statue, but we need to find a sculptor willing to do it. In Caldera, within the Gorak Manor, lives an orc by the name of Duma Grolag. He'll build the statue for us if we pay him 2,000 gold and bring him the book Boethia's Glory. The book is sold in Vivec, and while we're on our way there, let's put that golden Saint Soul to use. For about 12k, Galbadir makes us a 1-point constant effect pair of pants of constant elevation. What? Alright, so all Grand Soul Gems are marked as stolen, even ones with different souls in them. Got it. Instead, Janan Malini makes us a 1-point constant effect floaty shirt for about the same price. Because we're wearing the boots of blinding speed, even with 1 point of levitation, our airspeed velocity is comparable to that of an unladen swallow. We buy the book and bring it to Duma Grolag, along with his 2,000 gold fee. He says he'll build the statue at Kartag Point, carving it from a giant stone that's already there. This will take a few in-game weeks though. We'll let him get to work while we help out the last of the 3 good Daedra. Unlike the other prince's quests, Mephala doesn't speak to us through a statue. The Prince of Secrets has other methods. How apropos. We return to Vivec and make our way to the underbelly of the Arena Canton. In the storage area awaits a locked trapdoor guarded by a few rats. They're probably not actual guards, they're probably just there. Finding this trapdoor and successfully picking the lock is the first step one must complete to join the Morag Tong. This is their hideout, and unlike the rest of Vardenfell, the Morag Tong has not forgotten their roots. They still worship Mephala, Daedric Prince of murder and deceit. And sex. Taros Dral has a quest for us. Mephala informed him that a member of the Morag Tong, Balin O'Marrell, has been freelancing. This displeases Mephala, but O'Marrell is the brother of a high-ranking member of the Tong. Dral would have us take 5 treated bitter green petals and drop them into O'Marrell's food, poisoning him without raising too much suspicion. You can fail this quest, by the way. If you stand too close to his front door for too long, he'll spot you and ruin the quest. You either need to move really fast or go around the back of his house and break in through the trapdoor he has on his roof for some reason. Drop the leaves into the soup he conveniently has cooking and return to Dral. With the job done, he says Mephala would like to speak with us. A Daedric prince speaking to us? Oh, what a surprise. This has never happened before.
You have done well, mortal. There are some things that must be done to preserve the order, and it will be amusing for me when this business comes to light. I look forward to it. Take this ring, mortal. Through the brightest day, it will carry you with speed and stealth. Leave me now.
Thanks, Spider Lady. Our reward is the Ring of Khajiit. Now that is odd. We've already seen Malacath switch up his artifacts, but he didn't take one belonging to a different prince. The Ring of Khajiit was Meridia's artifact in Daggerfall. Mephala had the Ebony Blade. Quite odd. And it's probably the same ring, since the effects are similar enough. Fortify speed, 10 to 20 points, and invisibility for 30 seconds each. We'll have to see what happens with this ring in Oblivion to get a better idea of what's going on. Clavicus Vial has no quest in Morrowind, but his mask is in the game. Another artifact that's just out in the world. Who do you think has it? That's right, a necromancer. Outside of Dagenfell, in Sorkvild's tower, past his unimportant goons.
You're bested.
We kill the Necromancer and take the Mask of Clavicus Vial from his corpse. It fortifies personality by 30 points. Why does a Necromancer need that? Maybe it helps when he leaves the tower to pick up groceries, I don't know. It certainly didn't help him in the fight, though. He wasn't wearing it anyway. We have a few more artifacts to collect, but only one Daedric quest left. The last of the 4 princes of the House of Troubles. Sheogorath. Sheo's shrine is in the sewers of the St. Delen Canton in the city of Vivec. The shrine is guarded by cultists, of course, and even though we kill his followers, Uncle Sheo is still more than willing to have a chat with us.
What is it, mortal? Have you come to be of service to Sheogorath? That in and of itself speaks toward your madness. This pleases me. Fetch the Fork of Horripilation from the Mad Hermit near Aldredania. Take care with him. He's not the most stable man. Use the fork wisely, mortal. Few have wielded it who have not come away changed. Use the fork to strike a death blow to the giant bull Netch that resides near the hermit. Do this. Return the Fork of Horripilation to me, and Sheogorath will reward you well.
Quite the distinguished gentleman. His personality sure changes drastically in Oblivion. I like to think we're not actually speaking to Sheogorath here, but instead it's his chamberlain, Haskell. Morrowind's Sheogorath is actually voiced by Jeff Baker, who also happens to voice Haskell in Oblivion. Coincidence? Probably. Sheo's task is simple. Go to the Sheogorath region, lots of artifacts up there, and meet with an Argonian named Bighead. He is a few branches short of a hist tree, but understands well enough why we're here. We take the Fork of Horripilation from his table and head east to kill the Great Bull Netch. Sheogorath wants us to kill it with the fork, but we can bring it down to near death with any weapon. As long as the final hit is dealt by the fork, Sheo will be more than happy. The gimmick is that it drains your magicka by 200 points when it's equipped. Oh, this madness is crazy, whoa!
I see you have completed my little errand. Well done. Perhaps you've gotten a taste of madness as well? Do not believe madness to be a curse, mortal. For some, it is the greatest of blessings. A bitter mercy, perhaps, but mercy nonetheless. Give me the Fork of Horripilation. I believe I have something more suitable for your needs. Go now. Remember what you have seen.
Sheogorath awards us with the Spear of Bitter Mercy. When used, the spear summons a Storm Atronach for 30 seconds and buffs the user with 20 to 30 points of Reflect for 30 seconds. Not bad. It also does 15 to 60 points of damage on thrust. Even without the enchantment, it's a great weapon for a spear build. Better than a Daedric spear, actually. Both its minimum and maximum hits are higher. That's the last of the Daedric quests. Oh, except Boethia. I forgot about him. We just gotta go to the statue once it's finished and tie up loose ends. So that's basically done. But there are still a few more artifacts. Besides Boethia's, 3 more remain. Hircine's Ring, the Ebony Mail, and Spellbreaker. The first we get for finishing the Blood Moon expansion's main quest, so that's an undertaking. The second is the reward for being the leader of the Tribunal Temple, although you can sequence break the questline if you're clever. And the third requires us to be a vampire, which we'll want to do last-ish, because vampirism in Morrowind is difficult. It'll take quite a bit of time to do all that, and since we've still got Oblivion and Skyrim to get through, let's take a break from Morrowind while I think about how we'll handle these last few quests. They might be significantly abridged. Anyway, we're shoving off for Cyrodiil. I started making this video, recording the gameplay, writing the script, all that lovely stuff, before the Oblivion remaster was released. I had already collected all the artifacts in the original Oblivion and wrote more than half the script for the Oblivion artifacts. So I had to make a decision. Do I stick with the old stuff I already have, or do I do it over again in the remaster?
Run while there's still time!
Well, I'm sure you could see the decision I went with, but this actually works out rather well, because part of this video is comparing the princes between each game. Now we just have more data. Mechanically, there's not really that much of a difference between the games, and there's no difference between the Daedric quests, but the aesthetics are different. I will admit some of the remastered shrines look a lot better. Like Daggerfall, we're going to have to do some level grinding to collect all these artifacts. In Daggerfall, it was so we could run off with bigger bank loans. In Oblivion, it's because most Daedric quests have minimum level requirements. This was a harder task in the original Oblivion, since you didn't want to level improperly and become victim of level scaling. In the remaster, leveling is much more forgiving. Every skill gives you level progress like in Skyrim, and the number of attribute points you can allocate every level is always the same. The remaster made leveling magic more enjoyable too. The XP you gain now scales with the base magicka cost of your spell. So we're going to do this as a mage. Again, this isn't really a challenge run, so the specifics of the build aren't all that important. We need to be at least level 20 to complete all the Daedric quests. So the less time we have to spend grinding, the better. We start off with alchemy. It levels up really fast, and it's great for earning a ton of gold quickly. The vineyard outside of Skingrad is great for grapes, and the Shetcombe farm outside of Kvatch is great for corn, leeks, carrots, taters, and pumpkins. Our attribute spread will be rather simple. Every level will put 1 point into luck, and 4 points to intelligence and willpower until they are maxed out. Then we'll spread points around to endurance and agility, with some to speed and strength. Luck plays a greater role in Oblivion than it does in Morrowind. It effectively boosts your skills by 1 point for every 5 points of luck, but it won't boost it above 100. In Morrowind, it just increases your dice rolls by 1% for every 10 points of luck. Jumping ahead a bit, after doing quite a lot of alchemy and selling all the fatigue potions, we visited Frostcrag Spire and got the quest to start outfitting it with new amenities. Rather than joining the Mages Guild and doing all the recommendation quests, we can instead buy a box of Mage Tallow candles from the Mystic Emporium in the Imperial City and make our own spellmaking bench. With this bench, we can spellmake not only effective combat spells, but optimal leveling spells too. Spells that cost the most magicka per cast, while still being castable at our level range. For instance, some spells you make may be considered expert level spells, and you can't cast them until you get to level 75 in that School of Magic, whether you have enough magicka or not. For alteration, 56% shield for 8 seconds on self is the best spell we can make until 50 alteration, at which point we can make a stronger shield spell that costs even more magicka, giving us more XP. This video isn't about all that detail though, so just know I'll be crafting new spells here and there. I'll make sure to point out the most critical ones when I make them. There are a couple that'll kinda carry this character. There's 100 alchemy, didn't take terribly long, and the level 100 perk is more than worth it. We can make potions from a single ingredient. Paired with the expert perk, which gives you double the amount of potions per craft, we could turn a single blue Entoloma mushroom into 2 magicka potions. And there are plenty of these little shrooms in the Arboretum district of the Imperial City. More importantly, this got us to level 14. I'm sure the level scaling won't be a problem. I can just chuck potion bottles at people, right? Let's get started with the quests, beginning with everyone's favorite Daedra, Azura. She's one of the few princes that isn't obviously evil. She absolutely is, don't get me wrong, but she hides it well. She's a bit like a honeybee. Keep out of her radar, and you're probably gonna be fine. But sometimes she goes all killer bee, and turns you and your people ashy gray. When you were a kid, did you think killer bees were gonna be more of a regular occurrence? Like movies and TV shows made them seem like they would be. I have a bird bat that gets visited by honeybees on occasion. They're very cute. Anyway, unlike Morrowind, not only does every prince have a shrine, excluding one of them for obvious reasons, but getting the prince to talk to you takes more than just interacting with the shrine, in most cases. Many princes want a sacrifice. Azura wants glow dust. You can get some for free from the Bruma Mages Guild. They won't miss it. Jean Forsoric is too busy looking for an invisible cat. The shrines are scattered about the province, but getting to them is hardly a challenge. Honestly, the real challenge is my computer's beeps and boops keeping up. The performance of this game, especially in the overworld, is, and this is a technical term, unwashed ass. I don't know what Test 6 is going to be like. I don't know if they'll reintroduce some RPG elements or strip away even more. What I do know is I will hate it if it's done with Unreal Engine. Maybe it's just an optimization thing. Maybe it's because the game is fighting with OBS for resources. I don't know, but damn if this game don't run like shit. Okay, my spells suck, or the enemies have too much health, or both. Fire on a Dunmer is probably not the correct choice. Let's not fight this bear. 'Tis a silly proposition. Azura, Moon and Star. You know, there's a hotel in Antalya, Turkey, that uses Azura for its theming. Copyright violation? Probably. But it expands the Bethesda hegemony in the Middle East.
I have seen your name, traveler, and heard it whispered in twilight. I ask a service which holds promise of fame and reward. Many years ago, 5 followers slew the vampire Daedric and its kin, but all were infected by the foul creature. Knowing their fate, they sealed themselves up in the vampire's lair. Their suffering weighs heavily on me. Travel to the gutted mine. The door will open to you. Bring the piece of death to my followers, and you shall earn my gratitude.
She sounds different. I kinda like it. Vampires in the Gutted Mine. This quest is always a crapshoot, every time I do it. We're gonna want to make some new spells before jumping right in. But we'll grab the fast travel location first since it's nearby. Damn it, we got another friggin' Dark Elf to deal with. Oh, the bear! The bear came back! Yeah, nice. Ah, shit, now we gotta run away from the bear. Alright, those dare tripped and broke their necks. The bear's gone, but now we got a wolf and a pig. This isn't how the fable goes. If I stop for even a second, they're gonna kill me and the hair on my chinny chin chin. I don't know. I literally had to run all the way from the gutted mine to the Imperial City to get out of combat. Ridiculous. Here's the plan. We'll make a self-damaging destruction spell and train up to level 50. And then we'll craft a super spell. 10 points of fire, frost, and shock damage on target, and 100% weakness to magicka for 4 seconds. The weakness effect will last until I cast the spell again, making the second cast stronger and applying an even stronger weakness effect. Also, you may notice something strange, and I'm just now noticing it as well, while scripting. The shock damage portion of this spell is on self. This explains why the spell wasn't performing the way I thought it would. Fortunately, I won't be relying on this spell for very long. I'll be making something else a bit later. How I didn't notice I was taking damage when casting this spell is beyond me. I also spent some time training my alteration. Now that it's 75, we're going to make a super shield spell. We'll have each of the elemental shields at 5% for 30 seconds, and shield, just the regular shield, 70% for 30 seconds. Altogether, this will give us 85% shield, the maximum amount of damage resistance you can have. It's effectively 85 points of armor. It also comes with a little bit of elemental resistance, which is nice. Because we're going to be getting Azura's Star soon, it would make sense to put it to good use and get an item that could really benefit from captured souls. From Rindir's staffs in the Imperial City, we buy Apotheosis, a staff that does 33 points of shock, 33 points of frost, and 33 points of fire damage, all on target. It only has about a dozen charges, so you need to fill it with souls quite frequently. But if you're constantly soul trapping stuff, and you have a soul gem that never gets destroyed, then you don't really have to worry about it, do you? Back at the Gutted Mine, as you can see, we're trying out that new spell we made, you know, the one that does shock damage to ourselves. I was chunking my own health, wondering why they were killing me so fast. What ended up working was casting this stupid spell, even though it wasn't really doing a lot of damage, and then hitting them with Apotheosis. The weakness effect made Apotheosis twice as strong, effectively doing 198 points of damage to the enemy in a single hit. Although I believe vampires resist frost, but they're weak to fire, so it's probably closer to 150, or it cancels out, I don't know. Still pretty decent. It was at this point I realized that destruction is a support skill. You'll see. We kill the final vampire and return to Azura for our reward.
Thank you, mortal. Their spirits are free, and henceforth above my shrine, 5 bright candles shall burn forever in memory of their sacrifice. For your service, take this token, that your deeds might be entered in the Book of Fate.
Like the previous games, we're given Azura's Star, a reusable soul gem, great for recharging our overpowered staff, and it can be keybound, so we don't have to keep opening our inventory to use it. Convenient. Now here's the first iteration of the idea I had while I was killing those vampires. Train Mysticism to 25 so we can spell make with Soul Trap. We make the strongest on-target version we're able to cast at an apprentice level. 13 seconds is more than enough, baby. We're also going to make a weakness spell, something with a little bit of everything. Weakness to magic, frost, shock, and fire, all 100%, all on target, all for 4 seconds each. If I understand how spells work in Oblivion, the 100% magic weakness will actually make the frost, shock, and fire weaknesses twice as strong because it's applied first. If not, that's not a problem because 1, I can just cast it twice in a row and it would get stupid strong, but just a single cast of this weakness spell will triple Apotheosis' damage. You have its base damage, 100% more from the magic weakness, and 100% more from the elemental weakness. So it'll do 99 points of fire, frost, and shock damage, basically 300 points of damage in a single hit. Our next destination isn't getting a Daedric artifact per se. It's part of a Daedric quest, but we won't be finishing it for a while. In the Ayleid ruins of Vindicel, southwest of the Imperial City, there's a lone Bosmer by the name of Umbra. On her is the sword, Umbra. That sword doesn't scale, so it's as strong as it'll ever be when we loot it, and it weighs nothing because it's a quest item. You see, you're supposed to bring this sword to Clavicus Vile during his Daedric quest, and in return, you get the Mask of Clavicus Vile. We don't have the quest yet, and we don't want to do the quest yet, but we still want to get that quest item. That means we'll have a long blade that weighs nothing, that's really strong. There's no reason not to get it as soon as possible. The tricky part is actually killing Umbra. She's level 50, she's very fast, and she's very strong. But we just made a tactical nuke, so I don't think this should be too tough. Oh, what have I done? What cheese have I discovered? Speaking of cheese, since we're at least level 10, we can get an item that trivializes an entire skill, the skeleton key. I guess it's not really cheese, but... What's the difference between cheese and overpoweredness? Is cheese a subset of overpowered? Is this like asking the difference between a duck and a bird? Moving on. Nocturnal. I like that she's totally unchanged from Daggerfall, still T-posing with her birds. The Prince of Darkness, but not ancient darkness. Namira's darkness is the primeval stuff that fills you with terror. Nocturnal's darkness is nighttime. Nighttime and mystery.
Night among strangers. Secrets in the dark. Nocturnal is here. But my eye is blind and drowned, stolen from its shrine and hid in dark waters. To steal from a god is most unwise. In Leowin, 2 Argonians think themselves secret, but the eye has seen them. Find these thieves in the city that spans the waters. Learn where they hide my eye. Retrieve the eye of Nocturnal mortal, and return it to me, and I shall look favorably upon you.
A couple thieves stole the Eye of Nocturnal from Nocturnal, and we gotta get it back. Since we know where the eye is, we don't actually have to interrogate the Argonians who stole it. I have a theory that Nocturnal isn't actually the patron of thieves, but she attracts them nonetheless because thieves love darkness. They operate at night, but they keep stealing stuff from her. So instead of admitting she can't keep track of her artifacts, she just claims thieves to be part of her sphere to save face. Tidewater Cave, along the southeastern coast of Cyrodiil, is full of trolls and bears, but it's nothing Apotheosis can't handle. Umbra has Soul Trap on strike, by the way. Not terribly important when you can just cast the spell, but it lets us conserve magicka, I suppose. Crafty Argonians hiding the eye underwater where only they can breathe. Perhaps they should have hidden it in the ocean rather than in the shallow water of a cave.
My eye is returned, and I once again see into the darkness that is your world. We mock the thieves, for bitter is their loss. You, mortal, may take this. It shall open the secrets of dark places for you.
Our reward is the Skeleton Key, a lockpick that fortifies security by 40 points and never breaks, making the security buff kinda irrelevant. You can just spam click auto attempt until the lock opens. No drawbacks whatsoever. It's an amazing item. The next prince on our list demands we drink a bit of wine. Our personality must be at or below 20, or else Namira will not speak to us. Cheap wine is the easiest way to achieve that. Buy it from an alchemist and get wine drunk outside of Bruma. Namira is a touch more modest than she is in Daggerfall, but she's still got a little gremlin by her side. Look at that little guy.
You dare approach my shrine, child of the light? You who walks this plain basking in the light of the warm, cruel sun? Prove to me that you deserve my favor. In anger, my forgotten have lived in peace for many years. They worship me from the dark, basking in their misery and filth. Now, though, some would seek to bring light to their darkness. Priests of Archay have intruded upon their squalor. I want you to help my forgotten kill these priests of the light. Cast this spell upon the priests. Allow my beloved forgotten to kill the interlopers. When this is done, I shall reward you for your efforts.
She wasn't in Morrowind, so this is our first time hearing her voice. More masculine than I would have expected. The Ayleid ruin Anga isn't too far south from the shrine. All we have to do is go in, cast Namira's spell on the priests of Archay wandering around the place, and let the princes forgotten handle the rest. The spell snuffs out their torches, evidently the only thing protecting these priests from certain death. Learn a light spell, idiots. It was the Book of Daedra that began referring to Namira as the Spirit Daedra. Her sphere was no longer just hunger, but also ancient darkness, repulsiveness, and decay. Things that make you go ew, like vermin and cannibalism. Ugh, yucky.
You have cleansed my followers' perfect darkness. The forgotten are free to wallow in their misery. Take my ring. Let it bring pain to others who would wish it upon you. Namira blesses you.
Namira gives us the Ring of Namira, a simple ring with 12% damage reflect and 10% spell reflect. The effect on this ring is similar to Daggerfall's Ring of Namira, turning damage back onto the enemy. So we should expect Skyrim to continue the pattern, surely. Between Leyawiin and Breville, on the western side of the Niben River, stands a shrine to Sheogorath. Summoning him requires us to bring a head of lettuce, a spool of yarn, and a lesser soul gem. How wacky! God of madness! Whoa! It was the mid-aughts. Lol, so random, holds up spork, you know.
Another mortal dares to summon me, and already I'm bored. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. I could turn you into a goat, or a puddle, or a bad idea. I could make you eat your own fingers, or fall in love with a cloud. Perhaps I could make you into something useful. Let's find out. There's a little settlement called Watch. It's a nice, peaceful place. And dull. You're going to make their lives interesting. They're a superstitious bunch. Everything is an omen or a portent. Let's make one come true. Find their shaman and ask about the Kashara prophecy.
I think Wes Johnson's performance as Sheogorath is great, and I love that he still loves the role, judging by the fact that he owns a real-life Wabbajack. I kind of preferred how Sheogorath was written in Morrowind. A little more distinguished, a little more lucid. Just because he's the god of madness doesn't mean he has to be mad himself, right? More reason to believe Sheogorath in Morrowind was actually Haskell. In fact, if you do the Shivering Isles storyline first, and then come to this shrine, it'll be Haskell who gives you the quest. More evidence? Haskell has the ability to speak through Sheo shrines. This quest is rather simple. Honestly, you could say that about just about all the Daedric quests in Oblivion. We need to convince the Khajiit of Borderwatch that the end times are coming. Masquerading as a traveling scholar, we ask the village shaman Rabasa about the Kashara prophecy. By smooth-talking him and throwing money in his face, he reveals the prophecy's 3 signs. First, a plague of vermin. They keep rat poison in the village to keep those rats away. Next, a plague of famine. To protect their livestock, they keep their flock under constant supervision. Finally, the plague of fear, but he won't speak of that with an outsider. To trick the Khajiit into thinking the end times are upon them, we steal their Olroyd cheese and place it in a cooking pot, summoning a land full of rats. Rabasa panics, scattering rat poison throughout the town, which we collect and place in the livestock's food trough. Shortly after, the poor sheepies die, simultaneously, fulfilling the plague of famine. Then we need to collect their bones and put them in the furnace, because it's the plague sheep, and then later we're gonna have to dye their wool, and never mind.
You've done well, mortal. I'm amused, I think. Head into the center of Borderwatch and make sure to duck.
Quack. It's raining dogs on cats. Oh, how zany.
Good times. Good times. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Here, take this. It's a fun little toy. Now go away before I kill you.
Our reward is the Wabbajack. It'll turn any NPC into a different NPC for 10 seconds.
Come on now. Someone's being attacked. No need to get violent. Do your work.
But it doesn't seem to be working. Whatever. Whoa, how unpredictable. To summon Vermina, we must offer her a black soul gem. Why does the Daedric Prince of Dreams and Nightmares want this? Who knows? Vermina is a rather mysterious prince. Her connection to the Dreamsleeve could make her one of the most powerful of the princes, depending on what is and isn't canon with the Dreamsleeve, of course. To get a black soul gem, first we steal a grand soul gem from the Choral chapter of the Mages Guild. Some of them are already filled, so we'll just take everything and sort it out later. Next, we take this soul gem to one of the dark altars around the province. You actually encounter one of these altars naturally during the Mages Guild questline. We'll be going to the altar at the Dark Fissure since it's already near Vermina's shrine. Once every week or so, at midnight, the light of the Revenant shines upon the dark altars, the Necromancer's moon, eclipsing the celestial body arcade and weakening the protection the divine arcade grants sapient souls. Whether the celestial body and the divine are the same thing is up for debate. Placing a grand soul gem in the altar and casting Soul Trap on the altar transforms the soul gem into a black soul gem, making it able to hold black souls, the souls of men and Mer, and beastfolk. With this gem of mortal violation, we head west and meet with the Prince of Dreams and Nightmares.
We meet again, mortal, for we have met before, whether you know it or not.
I remember. It was when I was a high elf in the Iliac Bay. Kalpas, dragon breaks, quirky things.
When you mutter in your sleep, you speak to me. When you waken wet with sweat, you've just left my house. I dwell in your dreams. I savor your nightmares. Now you will serve me. The wizard Arkfed has the orb of Vermina, snatched from the dreams of my followers and dragged into the waking world.
Nightmare on Elm Street rules? Gotcha.
Travel to his tower and retrieve my orb. Take care, though, mortal. In my orb, Arkfed has found more than he bargained for.
Another prince had a trinket stolen from them. Arkved's tower is your typical, abandoned, ruined fort, but it's full of Daedra instead of bandits. Since we're level, I think 19 at this point, it's an assortment of Atronachs. Storm Atronachs drop Void Salts, which, like blue Entaloma caps, can be turned into Magicka potions. Huh, this is different. Are we in a dream now? Ah, the Alice in Wonderland room. My favorite part of Through the Looking Glass was probably the Vivisection Chamber. Our friend is busy napping, somehow in control of his own dream world because he stole the Orb of Vermina. Why Vermina is helpless is anyone's guess. We take the orb from Arkved's nightstand and head out of his tower. He looks cozy, so there's no reason to disturb him. I'm sure he'll be fine when he wakes up.
My orb is returned, and Arkfed will live out the rest of his days in nightmare.
Well,
it is fitting. You have proved yourself, mortal. It is fitting as well that you should bear my token.
Our reward is the Skull of Corruption, the same as Daggerfall. Same effect too. Corruption for 30 seconds on target. This means creating a copy of the target that will fight the target. Not terribly helpful for this build, but it looks cool. Sanguine's next on our list, and his quest is pretty short and simple. His shrine is north of Skingrad, north of the vineyards, of course, and he demands a sacrifice of Cyrodiilic brandy. You can usually find a bottle at most alchemist shops.
Another mortal. Come to beg Sanguine to add a bit of spice to an otherwise drab existence. I would have you perform a service for me. The castle Leowin is a dull, dreary place. The mistress is an especially somber soul, and tomorrow she will hold another excruciating dinner party. I want you to liven it up. Use this spell on the Countess and her guests. I think it will make the party much more interesting. You should probably try to be inconspicuous, or they might kill you. Oh, and the party is by invitation only. You'll have to find a way in. Have fun.
Oblivion really smoothed out Sanguine's rougher edges, made him more cuddly. But he's still the Prince of Dark Desires. That means his sphere overlaps with Moloch Baal's. Remember that. His quest is tame enough, though. Go to Leowin, bribe the guard for entrance into the Countess's dinner party, cast the Stark Reality spell, forcing everyone in its range to strip naked, get arrested for assault, and then return to Sanguine.
A rousing success, mortal. And it appears you joined in the festivities as well. Good for you. You need to lighten up a bit. You'll find your equipment in that chest over there. And here's a little something for your efforts. Maybe we'll celebrate again sometime.
He gives us the Sanguine Rose, a staff that summons a random Daedra for 20 seconds. It'll either fight for us, or fight against us. How incredibly useful. Daedric staves are invaluable. From a thick demon man holding an unconscious and naked woman, to a thick demon man pulling mostly harmless pranks on the nation's aristocracy. All this revelry cleared my mind, and gave me an idea for a better spell. Soul Trap for 5 seconds, 100% weakness to magic, shock, frost, and fire for 4 seconds. All on target. Now, I cast a single spell, then obliterate the target with Apotheosis. Their death will fuel the staff for more death, assuming the target doesn't have a black soul. Azura's Star can't hold black souls. Imagine if it could, that'd be crazy. I also made something I named Shock Blast. 60 points of shock damage on target, and 3 seconds of 100% weakness to shock, just in case Apotheosis runs out of charge. We can't use it until 75 Destruction, but training Destruction is simple. Cast Drain Health on yourself. It doesn't stack, and you get all the health back when the effect wears off. East of the Imperial City, across the water, is the Shrine to Periite, the Taskmaster, according to the Book of Daedra.
This one moves. A welcome change. So, mortal, you have found my shrine, and you have seen my followers. They are an embarrassment to me. The fools cast a spell in the hopes of summoning me to them. It was prideful and foolish, and it has had its consequences. My followers are trapped between worlds. Their bodies here on this plane, their souls in Oblivion. I would have you reunite the bodies and the souls. I will transport you to the plane of Oblivion in which they are trapped. Find their souls. When all are collected, I will return you here. Return to me when you are prepared.
Simple enough task. Okay, creepy voyeur watching from afar. Oh, the crab pushed them away from the shrine. Silly crab. Alright, let's save these goobers. Oh, their spirits are trapped in Oblivion, in a plane that conveniently looks like the Deadlands. All we have to do is fight through the Daedra and interact with the 5 Force Ghosts. While we do this, let's talk a bit about Periite, perhaps the most non-understood of the princes. He doesn't have a lot of content. He's referred to as the Prince of Pestilence, but also of Natural Order. He takes the form of a dragon, and here's a theory I heard as to why. You could think of Akatosh, and all the Divines, as an Daedric prince. He rules over and controls time, to put it simply, and takes the form of a dragon. His role is that of the Daedric Prince of Temporal Order. Perhaps there's a cosmic truth tying dragons to order, independent of the original spirits. And that's why Periite is a dragon. He's the Prince of Natural Order. Oh, but Jiggalag has no association with dragons, I hear you say. But that's because he's not the Prince of Order. He's just a different kind of madness. Nothing is ever ordered enough for Jiggalag. His crusade will never end. He'll burn down the universe, just so he can arrange the ashes correctly. Periite is also remarkably polite. Even in Daggerfall, if you reject his quest, he says, and I quote, "Changed your mind, eh? Don't feel bad. It's a sign of maturity to be brave enough to say no. Just give me a call when you change your mind. I know you will. A lot of the other princes get mad at you."
You have returned my followers, mortal. The natural order is restored, and for this, I thank you. Perhaps they have learned the folly of attempting to touch a Daedra prince. Take this with my blessing. May it bring you order.
He's even patient with his followers. Their souls being trapped in Oblivion was punishment enough. He doesn't need to pile on. He gives us Spellbreaker, a Dwemer shield enchanted with 30% spell reflection. It'll pair well with Nimira's Ring, and we still get the benefit of its effect, even while we're wielding a staff. To summon Malakath, we need a helping of troll fat to offer at his shrine. Alchemists tend to carry it.
Take this. It's from a friend.
Okay.
Hi!
Yeah, hi. Malakath's shrine is out west, almost as far west as you can go in Cyrodiil, not far from Fort Such. Malakath has changed a bit since Daggerfall. Now he's less about lies and deception, and more about vengeance. Prince of the Spurned, Prince of Outcasts. Unfortunately for the orcs, and all the other mortals he lays claim to, that means Malakath will work to maintain that as their status. The Prince of Outcasts can't be having his children not be outcasts, you see.
You brought a present? Good. That's smart. You want something? Then if you're smart, you do what I tell you. Lord Drad took my ogres. Says he owns them. Lying maggot! They're my ogres! Lord Drad put my little brothers in chains, working in the mines. I don't like that! Get over to Lord Drad's estate. Let my ogres loose and get them out. Okay. Get going!
Lord Drad has enslaved some of Malakath's ogres, and he demands we free them. Easy enough. The princes are pretty powerless, so many of their requests are trivial. We speak to Lady Drad and learn the location of the Bleak Mine, where the ogres are being held. And we use the skeleton key to force open the locked entrance. Inside are a bunch of guards, so while we kill them, let me tell you a theory about Malakath I happened across. We all know the story of Malakath's creation, right? Boethia ate Trinimac, shot out the Daedric prince, and the followers of Trinimac covered themselves with the accompanying dung, turning themselves into orcs. Yeah, not making that up. It may not be that literal, though. It could very well be anti-Velothi propaganda pushed by the First Era Aldmer. Boethia may have consumed Trinimac in the sense that she devoured his status in the Aldmeri pantheon. By disguising herself as Trinimac and speaking to the Aldmeri priests as Trinimac, she revealed who Trinimac truly was, undoing his glorious outward appearance, breaking him down, and revealing what hid behind the mask. Boethia didn't create Malakath. Boethia exposed Malakath. Trinimac valued honor and strength. Malakath values honor and strength. Trinimac is just a gilded Malakath. There's another theory that Trinimac is actually 3 beings, one of which is Malakath. And the strongest support for that theory is that Trinimac sounds a bit like Trinimic, which means it's a being with 3 names. It has 3 Nimics. I don't know who the 3 beings would be, but considering Talos is allegedly the combination of Hjalti Earlybeard, Wolfhearth, and Zurin Arctus, there is precedence for divine beings being multiple dudes. Once all the guards are dead and the ogres are freed, we return to Malakath and get our reward.
Good job. No one owns ogres but me! And I fixed that maggot. The ogres own Drad. Make Drad eat death. Now you get a present. Keep up the good work, and be nice to my little brothers.
Volendrung, a 2-handed mace that paralyzes the target for 3 seconds and drains 5 points of health for 20 seconds. Not that great. Mephalah's up next, and she's probably got the most intricate statue in the whole game. I mean, 4 arms? Can you imagine something with more limbs than that? We offer a nightshade, and the anticipation of Vivek speaks.
Call me web spinner. Pluck but a single thread, and the weave unravels. In Blinker's way, 2 families, Nord and Dunmer, live in perfect harmony, but beneath the surface lurks the secret seed of strife. Kill the leaders of the 2 families, plant evidence to implicate the other family as the killer. And don't get caught, be cunning, don't spoil my schemes, and don't die. That would spoil everything.
It's a real Hatfield and McCoy's situation. A town with Nords and Dunmer, both at each other's throats, a Tamrielic pastime. We kill Niven Dalvilu and loot his ceremonial dagger. We kill Hrol Ulfgar, plant the dagger on his corpse, and steal his family ring. We take the ring back to Dalvilu's corpse and implicate the Ulfgar family in his death. Was that the only other Nord in town? Oh well.
Well done, little web spinner. Is there a prettier sight than friends at war? Take pleasure in the strife you have caused, mortal.
Our reward is the Ebony Blade, a 1-handed sword that silences for 10 seconds on strike and absorbs 8 points of health. Not bad. These artifacts are starting to weigh us down. For storage, we buy all the upgrades to Frostcrag Spire and store everything we're not using in the chest by the bed. I've heard that the vault chests sometimes reset, so we'll avoid those. Southeast of the Imperial City, across the water and past these random bandits, stands a shrine to Hircine, Daedric Prince of the Hunt. He demands a bear pelt as sacrifice. You can get one from a bear if you ask nicely. It'll say no, but you can kill it and get it anyway.
Summoned my prey. The hare crouches before the fox's muzzle. Perhaps I shall task you, mortal. sent you to hunt for my amusement. In Arcane Grove is a quarry worthy the chase. First named, last tamed. The unicorn runs wild there. Bring me this creature's whole mortal, if you dare.
Kill a unicorn. How hard could that be? As far as princes go, Hircine's probably the least malicious, which is odd to say considering he hunts men for sport. Honestly, that says more about the other princes. Part of his appeal is that the prey must have a way to escape. If the prey can't escape, then the hunter isn't hunting. They're gathering. They're reaping what they sowed. He's not the prince of farmers. He's also sportsmanlike. When we return to Morrowind, you'll get a better understanding of what I mean. Oh, it's guarded by minotaurs. Oh, they have a lot of health. Not enough to be a problem, but still a lot. Oh no, I've been flanked. Jeez, this thing is tanky. It was tanky. And the horn is our spoils. The rest of the unicorn, I don't know, who cares?
Yes, Hunter, make your offering. Did you taste its flesh and drink its blood? Never waste the spoils of a kill. You've pleased me, Hunter. Take my token and wear it well. Hereafter, take your prey and whisper my name.
Hircine gives us the Savior's Hide. It grants 25% magic resistance. Bit of a downgrade since Morrowind. Unfortunately, armor reduces spell effectiveness, so we're not going to wear it. Also, I don't have any pants anyway. According to Yaegrim Begarn, Master Crafter and Tamriel's Last Living Dwarf, Hircine peeled off a piece of his own hide and awarded it to the first and only mortal to ever escape his hunting grounds. The mortal tanned the hide and crafted it into a magical cuirass. Being that it spawned from a prince, it's no surprise that it ended up back in his hands. Hunting Tail is a crazy name. Just a few princes left before we move on to Skyrim. Molag Bal, Boethia, Meridia, Clavicus Vile, and Hermaeus Mora. Molag Bal requires a lion's pelt as sacrifice, so hopefully we'll come across one on our journey to the other shrines. Let's try Boethia. It's up on the top of a mountain, where I suspect we may find a mountain lion. Oh, hey, there we go. My suspicions were correct. Imagine a citizen of Cyrodiil seeing those lights above Skyrim. The Nords, they must think, are a people most arcane and mysterious. Their skies dazzle with pearlescent ribbons. Then you meet them, and they're just a bunch of dudes. Just some guys. Regular guys. The sky does that sometimes. Boethia demands the heart of a Daedra as tribute. You can buy them at your local alchemist.
Why do you summon me? You are not one of my faithful. Do you hope to be counted among my chosen? Then prove yourself to me, mortal. I shall open a portal for you to one of my realms in Oblivion. Go and take your place in my tournament of 10 bloods. Survive, and you will be rewarded. Fail, and your soul belongs to me.
Boethia, who's a guy still, is setting up a tournament. He opens a portal to his realm of Oblivion. Attributions share. It is not the Deadlands. 10 mortals enter, 1 leaves. Oh, this will be so easy. Oh my god, Daedric boots and a Daedric cuirass. This Nord has a bunch of Daedric too. I should have just done this quest for the Daedric armor video. I spend so much time in that cave killing vampires.
Go forth and greet my chosen.
Oof, can never escape Reflect. We'll have to fight her slowly, with our Shock Blast spell, and not with Apotheosis.
Fearsome than you.
Bretons resist 50% of all magic, so it took 2 hits with Apotheosis to kill this one.
That's the best.
And that's the final combatant.
I greet you, chosen one. A victory in my tournament of 10 bloods brings great honor. Take Goldbrand, sheathe it in your enemies, and offer their souls as praise to me.
Boethia gives us Goldbrand, a one-handed sword that deals 22 points of fire damage on strike. It's alright. Molag Bal's shrine is just a short jaunt northeast of Sanguine Shrine.
Another mortal come to do my bidding. I only wish suffering and death You will bring me both. I want to see a man brought to the edge and pushed. Near Brindlehelm, you will find Melus Patilius, a good man, an honorable man. He disgusts me. You will let him kill you with this, the cursed mace. As you are doing this for me, I'll save your miserable life. Probably. Get out of my sight.
I don't care for his voice. He sounds like how I would make him sound. You know, not serious at all. Greetings, mortal. I'm going to be so devious. It's like a Halloween decoration. He wants us to goad a man into killing us with Molag Bal's cursed mace. Melus Pellis, or whatever, was once a noble man, but he hung up his noble pants after his noble wife died while he was away on a noble adventure. We find him mourning his stupid dead wife, drop the mace at his feet, cut our knuckles on his teeth, and let righteous anger take over.
But you have offended my honor in this most holy place. Prepare to die, devil.
He's a bit rusty, but eventually he whittles us down. And just before we die, Molag Bal sweeps us to safety. Melus Pellis is screwed. His soul belongs to Molag Bal now.
Well, it seems you've accomplished the task set out for you. Well done. Another man damned. Another ruined soul. But you'll still get your prize, won't you? I think it was worth it, don't you? Keep up the good work, little mortal.
Our reward is the Mace of Molag Bal, the same artifact as the previous games. It absorbs strength and magicka on strike, 5 points for 10 seconds. Even the effect is similar. So far, of all the princes, Molag Bal is probably the one who has changed the least. Or maybe Hircine. Meridia's shrine is not far from the Ayleid ruins of Miskarkand, the very same ruin you're sent to during the main quest to collect a Great Welkin Stone. I mention this because the Ayleid were devout followers of Meridia. I think it would have been more thematic and interesting if her shrine were in the ruin. That's the problem with Oblivion's Daedric quests. The acquisition of every single quest is identical, basically. It also seems weird that there'd be a shrine to each and every prince just out in the wilds of Cyrodiil, and only one of each. At least the shrine to Dagon is in a mysterious cave. Anyway, we offer Meridia Mort Flesh, proof that we've killed a zombie, or that we've purchased Mort Flesh, thereby creating demand for dead zombies.
By the detritus of the profane I am brought forth, and by your offering you have made the profane your interest mortal.
Is she Scottish?
The undead are foul, unnatural things. Some of my rivals take pleasure in these abominations. Not Meridia. I wish these creatures destroyed. Hidden behind a door, deep in howling cave, are necromancers. They rob graves for the materials to raise their undead armies. Find these necromancers, destroy them and their abominations. Do this, and earn the gratitude of Meridia.
Daggerfall depicted Meridia as motherly. Now she's full zealot. Kill them zombies, damn it. The Ayleid flesh gardens? Those were fine. The living sculptures? A-okay. See, the slaves were never killed before turned into living art. Before their bodies were manipulated and forced to undergo the shunting. It wasn't necromancy, so Meridia was fine with it. But skeletons doing manual labor? Annihilation. Ooh, another staff. Shock 35 points for 2 seconds. I'll take that as a backup. Why not? All the necromancers died in a single hit, of course, and Meridia is... We crashed. Remaster or not, it's still Oblivion.
Well done. Those creatures were an affront to all life, and they have paid the price for their actions. Take this ring and go with my blessing.
She gives us the Ring of Khajiit, not the Ring of Khajiit. It's a different name, but the effect is similar, so it's probably supposed to be the same ring. 10 points of speed and 35% chameleon. In Daggerfall, we got this ring from Meridia. In Morrowind, we got it from Mephala. Now, it's back with Meridia. It originally belonged to Mephala and was used by the Khajiit thief Rajin, who made it famous, explaining the name. But why does Meridia have it? What a mystery. Clavicus Vile demands an offering of 500 gold.
A mortal! Wonderful. Always a pleasure. Perhaps you'll do service for me, mortal, and I'll reward you. A fair bargain, don't you think? You will retrieve for me a sword, a very special sword. It contains the soul of Umbra, a hero I have had dealings with in the past. Bring the sword to me, and I'll reward you with my mask. You'll not find a better bargain, mortal. Begin your search in Hell's Gate.
We already did this quest, actually. Get Umbra from Umbra.
I'm telling you, don't bring that sword back to Clavicus. It'll ruin him, I'm sure. I mean, not completely. He's still a Daedric prince and all that. Look, keep the sword if you want. That's your decision. But don't give it back to Clavicus. He doesn't know what's good for him sometimes.
You've brought the sword. Now give it to me. As we agreed, Umbra and I have unfinished business.
Barbas, Clavicus' dog, doesn't want us to bring it back to him. We can either give Clavicus the sword, or exchange it for his artifact. The sword ceases to be a quest item if we choose to take it, which makes it gain weight, so we'll trade it for the mask. Also, because, collecting all the artifacts is the entire conceit of this video, and Umbra is not an artifact, the mask is.
Excellent! A pitiful sword with a pitiful soul in exchange for a mask fit for a god. You've gotten the better of this bargain, mortal. Now, I have business to attend to. Run along. Perhaps I'll be looking for you again.
The mask is a heavy armor helmet that grants 20 points of personality, and no longer looks like Steven Seagal. A single prince remains, Hermaeus Mora. Before he'll give us his quest, we not only need to have completed every other Daedric quest in the game, but we have to advance in the main quest far enough that we get the quest Blood of a Daedra, where we have to sacrifice one of the Daedric artifacts. So, main quest time. We'll go through this quick, especially since combat is rather trivial. We bring the Amulet of Kings to Joffrey and Wayne Priory, head to Kvatch and save Martin, close the Oblivion Gate blocking the entrance to the city, find Martin in the chapel, bring him back to the Priory, learn that the amulet has been stolen from the super secure wooden chest, escort Martin to Cloud Ruler Temple, meet with Boris in the Imperial City, get a bounty for killing this cultist since I'm impatient, get volumes 1, 2, and 3 of the commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes, meander through the sewers with Boris, kill Mankar Cameron's son, and get both the 4th volume of the commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes and the Mundane Rings since we're at least level 22. Follow the hints to the Mythic Dawn's base in Lake Arius Cavern, obliterate everyone on the way in, steal the Mysterium Xarxes, obliterate everyone on the way out, bring the book back to Martin, deal with the spies in Bruma, and finally get the quest to bring Martin a Daedric artifact. We may now summon Hermaeus Mora. His shrine is far to the west of Cloud Ruler Temple, up in the mountains and incredibly difficult to find if you're not already looking for it.
As you have served my brethren, and now you come to serve me. I am Hermaeus Mora. Past, present, and future are as one to me. My followers seek to perform our divination. For this, they need souls. One of each of the sanctioned races. You will provide these. I give you a spell to trap these souls. Return to me when you have finished. When you do, I will further your journey on your true path.
We gotta use Hermaeus Mora's special spell to trap the souls of a member of each of the playable races. He says sentient races, but sentient isn't a terribly high standard to meet. Sentient just means able to perceive its environment. Fish are sentient. He should say sapient, or specify beings with black souls. Mortals with black souls, that is. Necromancer dungeons usually have a variety of NPCs in them, and we already visited the Dark Fissure, so returning isn't all that hard. Okay, never mind. This dungeon only had a Breton. Vampire dungeons are pretty diverse. Barren Cave is where I farmed most of my Daedric armor for the Daedric armor video. Redguard, Bosmer. She hissed at me. Nord, Orc, Dunmer, and the dungeon is cleared. Let's try another random cave. Crota Cave. It's literally empty. What? Why? Memorial Cave. More vampires. Imperial. And that's it. Oh, the Skooma Den. You can kill them without getting a bounty. I thought there was an Argonian here. Well, we got a Khajiit. Oh wait, I can kill other worshippers. There's an Argonian at Sheo's shrine. I should have just done this. Help the princes, then come back and kill all their followers. That's 10 souls. Back to Mora we goes.
You have served me well, and I am pleased. I give you this, the Agma Infinitum. Knowledge given by me to Xarxes is recorded within. yourself. Go now, learn, and remember.
Like Daggerfall, our reward is the Augma Infinium. Unlike Daggerfall, rather than 30 points across your attributes, it instead grants 10 points to 2 attributes and 3 skills based on the path you choose. I think Daggerfall's is a bit more versatile, but this isn't terrible. Doesn't matter though, because we're done. What about Mehrunes Razor? Well, that was a plugin added later, after the base game. It's not really a Daedric quest, it's more of a huge dungeon that you get a Daedric artifact at the end of. Maybe we'll come back to it, maybe not, but for now, let's take a break from Oblivion and move on to Skyrim, the game that, I feel, does Daedric quests the best. At this point in the script writing, I'm assuming we're about halfway done, but we won't know until the rest is written, will we? You may have noticed the tone of my voice changing slightly throughout this video. That's because this is being recorded in multiple chunks. I could not read this entire script. This script is 30,000 words. I couldn't read this in one sitting, that'd be ridiculous. But enough behind the scenes. Let's get on with the artifacts. As I've already mentioned, this isn't a challenge run, so the specifics of our build aren't important. That said, we will be running with the Ordinator perk mod, not because it contributes to the video, but because I just prefer it. It doesn't change any of the artifacts, it just makes builds in this game a little more interesting. For me. I want to start off as a staff user, and then transition into something else. Think of it as the Oblivion character we were playing as, getting a new job. Also changing her race and his sex. We're a male Dark Elf now. My favorite perk in Ordinator is probably Staff Channeler. While a staff is equipped in combat, you gain Enchanting XP. We just need to level Enchanting the normal way to 30 before we can unlock that perk. Speaking of staves, the first Daedric artifact we'll be getting is quite the iconic staff, the Wabbajack. It's a touch more useful in Skyrim than it is in the previous games. Our adventure begins in Solitude, the capital of Skyrim, where nothing of political interest ever happens. On our way to the Blue Palace, we run into a diminutive little fella by the name of Dervenin.
You help people, right?
I help people, yes. It's odd that you would emphasize the sentence that way.
My master has abandoned me, abandoned his people, and nothing I say can change his mind. Now he refuses to even see me. He says I interrupt his vacation. It's been so many years. Won't you please help? Last I saw him, he was visiting a friend in the Blue Palace. But no one as mundane as a Jarl. No, such people are below him. No, he went into the forbidden wing of the palace to speak with an old friend. Said it had been ages since they had last had tea. Oh, and you'll need the hip bone. It's very important. No entering Pelagius's wing without that.
Pelagius's hip bone. Oh, whoever could his master be? If you've played through the Shivering Isles, the name Dervenin should sound familiar. He was the High Priest of Mania in the Sicellum in New Sheoth. Where his dementia counterpart, Arctis, ran off to is anyone's guess. We ask Erdi, a maid in the Blue Palace, who isn't currently in the Blue Palace, how to get into the Pelagius wing of the palace. She refuses to tell us because she would get in trouble. Falk Firebeard says the ghost of Pelagius the Mad still haunts the wing. As such, it's been sealed for hundreds of years. We can lie to Una, another maid, and tell her Falk told us to check it out. She believes us because reasons, and gives us the wing key. Now, you may say that this is just another example of how Skyrim ruined the RPG elements of the series. But if this quest were in Morrowind, you would literally just throw 100 gold at her and get the same result. Immersion. Hundreds of years, and this butterfly is still alive. The maids do come through here to clean out the spiderwebs. Allegedly. They shouldn't have left the candles lit, though. That is reckless.
Yeah! Marty! Kelly, my dear. Oh, I couldn't.
Ah, a portal into a realm. What do we have here?
My head. How rude! Can't be bothered to host an old friend for a decade or two.
I'm here to deliver a message.
Really? Oh, what kind of message? A song? A summons? Wait, I know! A death threat written on the back of an Argonian concubine. Those are my favorites.
Cool it, Crassius.
Well, spit it out, mortal. I haven't got an eternity. Actually, I do. Little joke. But seriously, what's the message?
I was asked to retrieve you from your vacation.
Were you now? By whom? Wait! Don't tell me. I want to guess. Was it Molag? No. Little Tim. The Toymaker's son, huh? What? The ghost?
of King Lysandas?
Skyrim predicted Daggerfall! Alright, jumping ahead a bit. Yeah, we all love Wes Johnson's Sheogorath, but he's a chatterbox. We're currently inside the addled mind of the Mad Emperor Pelagius Septim III, and to escape this place, we must rely on
The Wabbajack!
The whole shtick is to go around his mind, using the Wabbajack on NPCs, while Sheogorath monologues at us. Here we must bolster his self-confidence. Sleepy Pelagius is having bad dreams. Throw a Wabbajack ball at him, and then throw another at whatever spawns. Finally, the arena.
The objective here is simple, you simpleton. Use your Wabbajack to defeat the enemy, while they do the same. Oh, I thought you'd never figure it out!
Tricky Sheogorath. You're led to believe the combatants within the arena are your targets, but truly, it's the spectators we have to Wabbajack off. I'll admit, Sheo's Daedric quest in Skyrim isn't terribly interesting, but it's setting a precedent. These quests aren't just go to inconspicuous shrine in the middle of nowhere and do fetch quest.
Feel free to keep the Wabbajack as a symbol of my... I'll just take the damn thing. You take care of yourself now. And if you ever find yourself up in New Sheo, do look me up. We can share a strawberry tart. Ha ha! Ta-ta!
We'll be using the Wabbajack as a weapon for a little bit, so I'll explain exactly what it does when we actually need to use it.
As a bard can never have enough practice.
What's this guard want?
Would you like a tune?
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
What? We're gonna join the Thieves Guild right now, mostly for the free armor and access to a fence. We're gonna have to do most of the Thieves Guild questline anyway, if we want to get the skeleton key, so doing a little bit now doesn't hurt. At this point, I've played Morrowind way more than I've played Skyrim, even though Skyrim was my first Elder Scrolls game, but this is probably a quest I've done the most out of any of the games. That's probably a lie. I've probably done Edwina Elbert's quest in Morrowind way more. You steal Madissy's ring, planted on Bran Shay, while Brynjolf tries hawking his farmer blood elixir. You know those blind troglodytes? Yeah, drink their blood, it's fine. Getting to the Ragged Flagon, though, can sometimes be tough. The enemies down here can kill you pretty quick if you're undergeared. Fortunately, we have the Wabbajack. It can cause 50 points of fire, frost, or shock damage. It can absorb attributes, it can make the target invisible, it can heal the target, or it could turn them into a woodland creature, or a Dremora, sometimes a sweet roll, or a pile of gold. Pretty wacky, unpredictable, but effective. No, Sheogorath, not the Demon Core! It sure is a good thing I was wearing my Demon Core resistant underwear. We wouldn't have made it here if I hadn't been. Before being officially inducted into the guild, we're told to collect some debts from 3 citizens in Riften. We threaten Kirava's family using information we gathered from Talon J. We steal Helga's statue of Dibella and threaten to break it if she doesn't pay up. Chipmunk wouldn't suffer this disrespect. It's a shame Helga's not a monk of Dibella. Baby. And Bercy Honeyhand just hands over his payment. No need for threats. Smart man. Brynjolf takes the money and leads us into the thieves' headquarters proper, where it's all serious business. No tomfoolery allowed. Mercer Frey, leader of the guild, imparts upon us that he's a big, tough guy, and if we break any of the rules, we'll have to answer to him.
You do what we say, when we say.
Ooh, Nick Valentine's so strong. The first thing Frey wants us to do is the Golden Glow job. The Golden Glow job. The estate is important to one of the guild's clients, but the owner has decided to shut them out, so the guy needs to be taught a lesson. We'll get around to that later. For now, we grab a set of Thieves Guild armor from Tenelia, who will also act as a fence for our stolen goods. The armor's not amazing, but it's better than nothing. The boots and gloves improve pickpocketing and lockpicking, the armor gives a bit of carry capacity, and the hood improves prices by 10%. Now that our introductions are sorted with the Thieves Guild, we'll return to them later. We'll do it all in one go. So the Wabbajack has a limited number of charges, as to be expected. Unlike Morrowind, enchanted items don't replenish their charges over time. Instead of farming soul gems, we'll just get a different staff that does damage more reliably, and has more charges. Upon arriving at the Wind Peak Inn, we conveniently encounter a conversation between a few locals. The townsfolk have been having horrible nightmares, and Arander, a priest of Mara, is here in town to do something about it. Ergnir doesn't have eyebrows. I feel so seen. Arander says the source of these nightmares is the Daedric prince Vermina. While mortals sleep, she consumes their memories and replaces them with horrific dreams. But that's just a symptom of a greater threat. Her influence may become permanent. Truly the evilest of the Daedric princes. She's an influencer. Oh fuck, am I an influencer too? Oh, god damn it. Arander leads us to the source of the problem, Nightcaller Temple, not far outside Dawnstar. Some time ago, a party of orcs, also plagued by nightmares, raided this temple to put an end to the torment. The cultists couldn't handle the assault, so instead of fighting back, they released something called the miasma, a gas that places the affected in a deep sleep. It was designed to slow aging, as some of Vermina's rituals could last years at a time. Arendar works his magic, turns a stone wall into a purple specter, and reveals access to the rest of the tower. Within the inner sanctum is the Skull of Corruption, the cause of the nightmares. As we descend the tower, the Orcish invaders who fell victim to the miasma awaken, and of course they immediately become aggressive. I don't know about you, but if I do too much physical activity immediately after waking up, I get a terrible stomachache. It's like a nauseous stomachache. I don't know what that means. I usually just gotta give myself like a half hour. A barrier blocks our path, but Arendar has an idea. If we can get to the library, he might be able to find a solution. But how does he know so much about this place? Ah, well, he used to be a priest of Vermina, in this very temple. How sneaky, Arendar. You lion's son of a bitch. Some of the priests begin waking back up as well. Thankfully, Arendar has no fond memories of his former fellow devotees, it seems. He tanks their attacks while we stand back and chuck wobble balls, and the occasional ceaseless jet of flame. Once everyone is dead, we find the book Dreamstride, and bring it to Arendar. He flips through the cardboard pages and finds a solution. Vermina's Torpor. It should allow us to enter a dream state, move through the dream world, and appear somewhere new in the real world. A sample should be in the temple's library. More devotees awaken, more devotees die. Orcs too. A single vial of the torpor is here on this shelf. It has a faint aroma of lilac and cat piss. The Dreamstride places us in the memories of one Brother Casimir, a Vermina devotee present at the Orcish sacking of the temple. While the priests fend off the attack, we're sent to activate the barrier and release the miasma. Pulling the lever and fulfilling the actions of the past releases us from the Dreamstride, but in a new location, behind the barrier. Looting the soul gem powering the shield deactivates it, allowing Arendar to accompany us once again. So it's more of a teleportation potion with some hallucinating involved. Seems more like a memory stride than a dream stride if you ask me. No matter, we push onward.
There, Daedric, you're alive.
No thanks to you, Casimir.
What a twist.
I no longer use that name. I'm Miranda, priest of Mara. You're a traitor. You left us to die and then ran before the miasma took you. No, I was scared. I wasn't ready to sleep. Enough of your lies. I can't allow you to destroy the skull, priest of Mara. Then you leave me no choice.
Oh my god. Can you imagine finishing a conversation and immediately getting blasted with fire? Stop missing. Hit the... Okay, aim, fire. God damn it.
I'll see you burn. How could you, Arendar?
How kind of him, even in death, to respect Arendar's new name. Let's deal with that skull.
I call upon you, Lady Mara. The skull hungers. It yearns for memories and leaves nightmares in its wake. Grant me the power to break through this barrier and to send the skull to the depths of Oblivion.
He's deceiving you. When the ritual's complete, the skull will be free, and then Arendar will turn on you.
GLaDOS?
Quickly, kill him now. Kill him and claim the skull for your own. Vermina commands you.
Okay. Unsurprisingly, fire ain't that great against a Dark Elf. Just smash him with a hammer. If we sided with him, the staff would be destroyed, but we'd get him as a follower. He's not a Daedric artifact, so... The Skull of Corruption does 20 points of damage, and it has 75 charges. But that damage can be increased to 50 if powered by dreams collected from sleeping people. But you have to keep refilling it with dreams to have the higher damage. Not really worth it. 20 points is decent enough for now. At least this incarnation of the Skull of Corruption is actually useful, and actually has something to do with dreams. The whole summoning a clone thing was weird. I do still worry that we'll run out of charges sooner than we expect, and although recharging a staff with soul gems is simple, actually keeping a steady supply of soul gems on our person might be a touch more difficult. If only there was some soul gem with unlimited uses. By Azura, by Azura, by Azura. So after talking up how Skyrim isn't just go to shrine and get quest, we're going to a shrine to get a quest. But at least this one is massive, and it sort of draws you in from the distance. Ooh, who's that giant lady? I feel like somebody named Aranea would be a Mephala worshipper, you know? Also, her last name is Yeneth. That's the surname of two of Orvis Dren's mercenaries back in Morrowind. You get a writ to kill them if you join the Morag Tong. Interesting. Aranea says we've been chosen to be Azura's champion. Won't be the first time. We're to go to a fortress surrounded by water, but untouched by water. And there, we'll find an elven mage who can turn the brightest star as black as night. Winterhold is where we find the high elf mage Nelacar. He was working under Malyn Varen, researching just how Azura's star was able to hold and pass souls through it without being destroyed. But Malyn had other plans. He wished to use the star to trap his own soul, granting him reprieve from his terminal illness, and making himself immortal. Of course, it drove him mad.
Look, I don't care who asked you to find the star, but don't take it back to Azura. The Daedra are evil. They're the reason Malyn went insane. Azura is no ordinary Daedra. She commands an entire realm inside of Oblivion.
That's pretty ordinary for a prince, my guy. The princes are their realms. They all have realms. Nelacar directs us to Ilinalta's Deep, a sunken fortress within the lake west of Riverwood. But on the way I ducked into Brittleshin Pass, killed the necromancers within, disenchanted a bunch of their gear, and used the soul gems lying around to make a few petty enchantments. This got us to 30 enchanting, unlocking the Staff Channeler perk. Passive enchanting XP, oh yeah. Like Brittleshin Pass, Ilinalta's Deep is full of necromancers, the annoying kind that spray frost in your face while backpedaling. And because Skyrim is goofy, enemy mages have an unlimited supply of magicka, so they can just keep casting it at you. I hate it so much. And I guess technically it's not infinite, but it feels infinite. It's a bit tricky and takes some doing, but the Skull of Corruption can just about 3-shot most of these guys. The ones that can't usually just need a sword swing or two to finish the job.
You dare fight a Dunmer?
I can literally say the exact same thing. Finally, Malyn. More importantly, a broken Azura's star. We bring the star back to Nelacar, who does a bit of magical how-do-you-do, and determines that Malyn did indeed trap his soul within the star. But the star is falling apart. It needs to feed on souls, not just house a single one. Nelacar can fix the star, but not while Malyn's squatting inside. Nelacar does know a spell that will allow us to enter the star without being forever trapped within the star. Just a little bit of soul tampering, as a treat.
Okay, stand very still. This might sting. First,
what's happening?
Need to grab hold of the soul.
Nelacar?
Now, take a deep
Am I getting an X-ray? Ah, the inside of Azura's star, just as I expected. Crystals and basalt rocks. Be careful, you don't want to slip. That's a RuneScape reference. Malyn's got some Dremora goons guarding him, but they're no match for the Skull of Corruption. What do you think Malyn gets out of ruling this realm? You see, this is the kind of immortality that seems more like a curse. Live forever, inside a box. He's ascending! Oh, nope, he dead. I'm just gonna take your Staff of Flames, if you don't mind. With Malyn dead, Nelacar pulls our soul out of the star, and reveals that the star has been cut off from Azura. Does that mean it won't be in Test 6? We'll find out in 2042. Because we sided with Nelacar, the star has been transformed into a reusable Black Soul Gem. It's effectively a reusable Grand Soul Gem, since Black Souls have the same enchanting power as Grand Souls, but it's much easier to get Black Souls than Grand White Souls. Enemies with Grand White Souls are usually pretty strong, but all humanoids have Black Souls, regardless of their level. With the Black Star, every bandit effectively has a Grand Soul. To capitalize on this new development, we're going to make a quick detour and get a reliable means of soul trapping enemies. Easiest way to do that is by enchanting a weapon with Soul Trap on Strike. Well, casting it is easier, but hitting a guy with a sword is more reliable. A guaranteed weapon with Soul Trap on Strike can be found within the Ironbind Barrow. It's not far southwest of Azura's Shrine, actually. Because this isn't related to the Daedric artifacts, we'll just skip ahead to the end of the crypt, where we fend off Warlord Gathric with the Skull of Corruption. The two NPCs outside the dungeon, Salma and Beamja, help you through the dungeon up until this point. But once Gathric is defeated, Beamja turns on you, intent on using you as a blood sacrifice so he may absorb Gathric's power. Seems like a weird requirement, but he's the necromancer here, so I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. I, however, am currently using my blood, thank you very much, and as such, we must rebuff his insistence. Now that he's dead, we can grab what we actually came here for. This steel battle axe of fiery souls. Disenchanting it grants a combo effect, soul trap and fire damage on strike. Using a grand soul we collected from a roaming bandit, or a black soul rather, whatever. We enchant some random dwarven sword we found with a 1-second soul trap effect. The idea is to get the killing blow with the sword so the black star gets filled whenever it happens to be empty. We can use those souls to recharge our weapons and our staves. This will grant us not only more damage, but also a bunch of enchanting XP. So that's one incredibly useful and practical artifact. Let's get another. the Skeleton Key. We're returning to the Thieves Guild sooner than I realized. Getting the Skeleton Key is a bit more involved in Skyrim than it is in the previous games. In Skyrim, you have to do the entire Thieves Guild questline, or just about all of it. If I approached the Thieves Guild the way I normally approach guild quests in my videos, we'd be here for another 30 minutes. Rather than describing every single detail, we'll just run through it all real quick. Hit the story beats, meet Nocturnal, talk a bit about her, then get the key. Sound good? Our first job is the Golden Glow job. Our Staff of Flames ain't the best, but these Falahs ain't Dunmer, so they're weak to it. The Skull of Corruption is good backup. We burn all but one beehive, steal the documents from Arangoth's safe, and return to the Thieves Guild. Brynjolf wants us to meet with Maven Blackbriar to help sort out some business opportunities. Before that, we enchant a few pieces of gear with Fortify Illusion, so we can cast Muffle every now and then, leveling up our illusion. No point letting that magicka just sit around doing nothing, right? Maven would like us to put her competition out of business. We cosplay a teen from the 60s and walk into the Hunting Brew Meadery, ask for a job, and immediately get hired. The proprietor gives us rat poison in order to kill rats, but here's the trick. We're not going to poison just the rats. Oh no, we're going to put the poison inside the mead. But we also have to deal with the rats, otherwise it'd be suspicious. You'd think there'd be more sinkholes, what with how many basements just open up into massive cave systems. There's also the Pied Piper down here, Himmelin. Here's a taste of what kind of build I'm angling for. Sneak attack, calm, sneak attack, calm. Repeat until they're dead. It'll get better. We poison the brew, and return to Sabjorn to watch Guard Commander Caius have a taste.
I'll see to it that you remain in irons for the rest of your days.
No, please. I don't understand.
Silence, idiot. I should have known better to trust this place after it's been riddled with filth.
I beg you, please. This is not what it seems.
I'm mightily impressed the poison was strong enough to have immediate effects, but not strong enough to kill the guy. Maybe he'll shit himself to death later. So Sabjorn is arrested, and one of Maven's lackeys is given control of the meadery, because that's how that works. Before leaving, we take a peek in Sabjorn's chest of drawers, moving aside his risque materials, and take the promissory note he received from his mysterious partner. Whoever is trying to drive a wedge between Maven and the guild must be well funded, says Mercer Frey, but they slipped up and included the name Gadulai in the note, an alias used by one of the guild's contacts, Gullum Eye. We find the Argonian in Solitude, who will only reveal the name of the buyer if we fetch him some firebrand wine. There's fortunately a whole case of the stuff in the Blue Palace. If they wanted to keep the wine safe, they shouldn't have left a giant quest marker above it. Of course, when we bring the wine back, Gullum Eye says he doesn't know the name of the buyer, only that she gave him gold to buy the estate. He brought the gold to Arangoth, and Arangoth handed over the deed. We're gonna tail him and see where he goes. He's definitely hiding something. He wanders out of Solitude and enters the East Empire Company's warehouse by the docks. If the wardens spot us, they'll attack, but a bit of illusion magic keeps them preoccupied. Okay, so the problem with Frenzy is that just because a bandit is attacking another bandit, that doesn't mean the attacked bandit will stop attacking you. Oh, hello. Whoa.
Keep your spells away from me.
At the end of the bandit hideaway, we confront Gullum Eye and demand he tell us everything. The buyer was Carlia, the thief responsible for killing the previous master of the Thieves Guild, Gallus. Ah, the plot embiggens. Oop, looks like the illusions are wearing off. That's my cue to skedaddle. Gullum Eye said Carlia would be where the end began, which Mercer Frey assumes could only mean Snowvale Sanctum, where she murdered Gallus. The two of us meet up there, but the tomb is locked. Master Thief Mercer Frey, however, is able to outsmart these ancient Nordic machinations by putting the square peg in the square hole. How could I have not seen it myself? I've been putting perks into the illusion tree this whole time, by the way. With this level, we unlock Master of the Mind. This perk allows us to cast Calm, Fear, Frenzy, and Rally on Undead, Daedra, and Automatons. Our Calm Sneak strat will now work in this dungeon. A dozen or so Draugr later, bested with a prodigious amount of calming balls and less calming sword swings, we arrive at another locked door. which is no match for Master Thief Mercer Frey. This time, the round peg fits snugly in the round hole. Karliah must be through here. I can feel it in me bones. I can't feel me bones. It's revealed Karliah isn't the true enemy of the guild. She wasn't the one who killed Gallus. It was Frey all along. And to think, I thought he was just a mild-mannered genius thief. As a parting gift, Mercer stabs us in the gut, leaving us to die in this tomb. We awaken sometime later, outside the tomb, with Karliah standing over us. Our paralysis was her doing, but it was that very magic which kept us from bleeding out. Hooray! Karliah came to Snowvale Sanctum to retrieve Gallus's journal from his remains, but the contents are written in a strange language. Enther at the College of Winterhold, an old friend of Gallus, may be able to decipher the script, but he can't. It's written in the Falmer language. But if he had a Rosetta Stone of sorts, he may be able to tease the meaning. Calcelmo, the High Elf wizard in Markarth, has copious amounts of Dwemer and Falmer research materials within the city's museum, and perhaps more in his private accommodations. Rather than doing Calcelmo's quest and getting a key from him quite directly, we'll just get the key even more directly by plucking it from his pockets. We could pick the lock, but I suspect this key will open more than just a single museum door. His guards, wizard's guards, so not city guards, are a nuisance, but I bought some rune spells to play around with. Ordinator has a perk in the sneak tree that increases rune damage by 2% per level of sneak. I never use runes in normal runs, so why not? Do something new, mix it up.
Someone do something.
Return it to Delvin? What about Hasfat? Oh, he's probably dead by now, it's been 200 years. Ah, it's called Calcelmo's Stone, not Rosetta's Stone. We take an etching of the inscription and return to Enther. He deciphers the journal, which says repeatedly that Mercer desecrated something known as the Twilight Sepulchre, a claim which does not sit well with Karliah.
Shadows preserve us.
Karliah explains that the Twilight Sepulchre is a temple to Nocturnal. Finally, back to Daedric princes. I forgot what we were doing for a minute there. Nightingales are mortals who swear themselves to Nocturnal, and are tasked with protecting the Twilight Sepulchre with their lives, because Daedric princes are too impotent to do it themselves. A single priest turned into a dragon 200 years ago, and now the Daedra don't know what to do with themselves. Karliah, Gallus, and Frey were all Nightingales, but it seems Gallus believed Frey had broken his oath, and considering Frey killed him and covered up the events, well, Gallus might have been right. We return to the guild with Karliah, and after a bit of a scuffle at the entrance, Brynjolf learns that Mercer has actually been stealing from the guild this whole time, according to Gallus. To be sure, they need to check the vault. I guess no one's ever checked this whole time. I don't know. The vault can only be opened with multiple keys belonging to multiple members of the guild. So imagine Brynjolf's surprise when he finds the vault is totally empty. But how did Frey get in without extra keys? Oh. To learn where Frey's run off to, Brynjolf sends us to break into the former guild master's manor and see what we can learn. Vald, Frey's houseguard, falls victim to the old common kill technique, sending his soul to the ideal masters. And the bandit mercs he has within the manor suffer a similar fate. Like any other self-respecting thief, Frey left an outline of his plans inside his basement tunnels. He must have gone to the Mythic Dawn school of covert operations. Frey plans to steal the eyes of the Falmer, Gallus' pet project, and we're gonna stop him. But Karliah's worried. If we're to confront Frey, we need to meet him on equal footing. We must become Nightingales. Outside of Riften, near the Shadow Standing Stone, is Nightingale Hall. Within, we earn a set of Nightingale armor, and after a tedious amount of roleplay walking from our NPC anchors, we enter the final room, ready to take the oath.
I call upon you, Lady Nocturnal, Queen of Murk, and Empress of Shadow. Hear my voice.
Ah, Karliah.
Finally,
I was
a
wondering
prince.
when I'd hear from you again. Lose something, did we?
My lady, I've come before you to throw myself upon your mercy, and to accept responsibility for my failure.
You're already mine, Karliah. Your terms were struck long ago. What could you possibly offer me now?
I have two others that wish to transact the oath, to serve you both in life and in death.
You surprise me, Karliah. This offer is definitely weighted in my favor.
My appetite for Mercer's demise exceeds my craving for wealth, Your Grace.
Revenge. How interesting. Very well. The conditions are acceptable. You may proceed.
Lady Nocturnal, we accept your terms, We dedicate ourselves to you as both your avengers and your sentinels. We will honor our agreement in this life and the next until your conditions have been met.
Very well. I name your initiates Nightingale, and I restore your status to the same, Carlisle. And in the future, I'd suggest you refrain from disappointing me again.
The Eye of the Falmer is within the Dwemer ruins of Erkingthand. It'll be full of Falmer. It'll be full of Dwemer constructs. But the three of us together shall prevail, with the power of friendship and the power of selling our souls to the Goddess of Darkness. I've been abandoned. Where are my fellow soulbound thieves? Oh, now they show up. Scene. 2 Dwemer, having a conversation in the first era. Hey, Gambin Bim Shans. Did you build traps for the interior hallway? Yeah, totally. Let me just double check that they're running. Smash cut toward Dwarf, throwing bear traps everywhere. Yeah, I know, it's Frey who placed these, but it's, a billion friggin' mutant snow elves later, and we arrive at the Falmer statue chamber. Within the Falmer statue chamber is not only a statue, but a Falmer statue, atop which is Mercer Frey plucking out the statue's eyes. Ooh, symbolism or something.
Then the die is cast, and once again my blade will taste Nightingale blood. Carl, you can't hide from me.
What's happening? I can't stop myself.
Damn you, Mercer. Fight Brynjolf. He's taking control of you.
Calm works on Mercer Frey. I mean, I guess there's no reason why it shouldn't. It's just a little silly. Do you think the act of being calmed in combat is horrifying for the victim? Like, do you think they know they're in a fight, but their mind and body are just at odds with each other? They can't bring themselves to fight? Or do you think the spell makes them forget they were in combat in the first place? The former is way more terrifying, so I'm gonna go with that. After killing Frey, we take from his corpse not only the Eyes of the Falmer, but also the elusive Skeleton Key, one of Nocturnal's Daedric artifacts. Unfortunately, to finish the Thieves Guild questline and meet Nocturnal in her metaphysically dubious flesh, we need to return the key to the Twilight Sepulchre. We have to lose the Skeleton Key, an unbreakable lockpick, and we have to just throw it out. Yeah, no. Once the three of us escape this cavern, it's goodbye to the guild. So Skyrim did expand on the lore of the Skeleton Key a bit, possibly. Carlisle says the key can be used to open mundane locks, portals, and even unseen potentials. What does this mean? Who knows? In Skyrim, you can only use it to pick locks, specifically pickable locks, not locks that require keys. The gameplay effects of the Skeleton Key are much more in line with its previous versions, although it provides plus 15 to dodge in Daggerfall, perhaps laying a foundation for its ability to grant some sort of cosmic slipping. If you know how to use the key most effectively, you don't actually need to pick locks on doors. You can just appear on the other side of the door. You dodge the lock. I don't know. My headcanon is that it's as powerful as Carlisle claims, but because we're not supposed to have it, we don't have access to its unseen potentials. Ironically. Let's give Mehrunes Dagon a hand. He's been waiting so patiently. Silas Vesuvius in Dawnstar is opening up a museum to the fabled mythic Dawn, the cultists who are responsible for the assassination of Uriel Septim VII. I hear Rorikstead is getting a John Wilkes Booth museum. Following the Oblivion crisis, several groups appeared with the goal of wiping out the remaining holdouts of the mythic Dawn. One of these groups found Mehrunes' razor, but rather than using it, they shattered it into 3 pieces, vowing to keep them apart forever. How serendipitous that all 3 pieces are right here in Skyrim. The blade shards are held at Crack Tusk Keep, west of Falkreath, behind simple traps. The pommel is at Dead Crone Rock, but to reach that dungeon, we must fight through a bunch of Forsworn within Hag Rock Redoubt. Anyone else still get unsettled when they see dual-wielding Forsworn sprinting at them? Something about the silhouette. I mean, running with your swords at your side is probably a martial error, but it looks intimidating. I'm sure everybody knows this by now, but if you pickpocket the Briarheart from the inventory of a Forsworn Briarheart, they die instantly. The pommel is in the possession of the Hagraven Drasqua, at the tippity-top of the Forsworn encampment. It's a good thing she didn't realize what she had, otherwise she could have ended us rightly. The final piece of the razor is in the possession of the most dastardly NPC in the entire game, Jorgen. Not only do we have to give him money to get the hilt, but we have to come all the way to Morthal to do it. Disgusting. He gives us the key to his house so we can fetch the hilt ourselves, which is an insane thing to do. Here's a key to my empty house, stranger who's armed to the teeth. Literally, I have Forsworn weapons. They're made out of teeth. With the 3 missing pieces in hand, we return to the museum, and... you know, I want to try something. I've heard about this, but I've never actually done it myself. If you pick open the display containing the page of the Mysterium Xarxes, and then attack the page itself, it should... Oh my god, it's true. It spawns a bucket. Why? Silas gives us 800 gold for each piece of the razor returned, and says the only way to repair the dagger is by asking the Lord of Change directly.
I'll meet you at the shrine.
What kind of fool plays with fire like that?
I love how big some of the shrines in Skyrim are. It's a fantasy world. Make shit ludicrous. If Test 6 is in Hammerfell, there better be an enormous pyramid made out of elves.
You, mortal, you are worthy of speaking to. You have claimed the pieces of my razor. It has been an amusing game to witness. But Dagon does not declare a winner while there is a pawn on the board. Kill Silas. He and his family have served their purpose.
Not knocking the voice actor for Dagon or anything. He does a fine job, but I think Esso's Dagon sounds much better.
It was you who rallied this peasant village to contend with me. Fascinating that a mortal could be so troublesome.
Skyrim's has a conniving old sorcerer thing going on, and it doesn't really fit someone like Dagon. Maybe Molag Bal, but certainly not Dagon. Silas begs for his life, of course, but we want the razor, so his fate is sealed. He shouldn't have trusted the Daedric Prince of Revolution.
I am pleased, mortal. I will give you my razor. Use it to wreak havoc on Tamriel. You have been a worthy tool. Fill the world with destruction in my name. Place your hands on my altar one last time, and you will witness the power of Mehrunes Dagon for yourself. Before you go, mortal, one final challenge.
I like how one of the Dremora just starts walking home after you hit him with a calm spell. Where you going, man? So Mehrunes Razor is more like its Daggerfall incarnation. It has a slight chance, about 2%, to instantly kill an enemy hit with it. Dual wielding it with the Dual Fury perk while under the effects of the Elemental Fury Shout is absurd, but we have neither, so don't worry about it. Oblivion's version of the Razor is similar, but we didn't get it because it was added as a plugin after the release of the game. Maybe we'll go back to clear out that dungeon, depending on how long this video ends up being. I'm predicting at least 2 hours, minimum. Now here's another diversion that I completely forgot about until I was watching this footage back. The Flame Staff is terrible, so I figured why not make a new one. The Dragonborn DLC added staff making. You just gotta do some introductory quests for Telvanni Wizard Master Nelith. Get him a Heartstone, find him a new assistant because his other one died. Typical Telvanni stuff. But after unlocking the room containing the staff-making bench, I immediately, and without thinking, picked up the Black Book, sending us to Apocrypha. Oops. We'll just skip all this. It was a bunch of tentacles, touching things. Anyway, staves. You can mine Heartstones around Solstheim, and you can buy unenchanted staves from Nelith himself. We'll make 1 staff of fireballs and 2 staves of lightning bolts. It's faster to swap staves than it is to recharge. I genuinely can't remember why I even bothered doing this. I mean, Boethia's quest requires you to be level 30, so maybe I was thinking it would be a little bit of extra level grinding? Or something? I don't know. Oh no, I think part of it was wanting to buy enchanting training from Nelith. But when I realized how expensive a single level was, I gave up and just bought soul gems from Farengar and made some petty enchantments. At level 80, we can place 2 enchantments on a single item. I'm not going to chase 100% fortification. Even a 50% reduction in casting cost for destruction and illusion is more than worthwhile. So after running around and collecting bandit souls and the like, I crafted a heavy armor set of Destrolution gear, along with the accompanying jewelry. Magicka will be easier to manage, but not so easy that it's a non-consideration. Anyway, onward to more Daedra. We're here in Markarth, but for what purpose, you may wonder? Or perhaps not, since it's probably the first Daedra quest most people stumble upon. It was for me, at least. It's actually one of the reasons why I think Skyrim handles Daedra quests the best between all the games. Sometimes, you go into the quest not realizing it's a Daedra quest until the prince talks to you. The Daedra quests in other games all operate on the same formula. Daggerfall, pay a warlock to summon the prince. Morrowind, find the shrine and get a quest. Oblivion, find the shrine and offer a sacrifice sometimes, and get a quest. In Skyrim, starting at a shrine is an exception, not a rule. In Markarth, we find Vigilant Tyrannus standing outside an abandoned house. He's asking passersby if they know anything about it. Vigilants of Stendarr love hunting down Daedra worshippers, and they suspect this house has been used for unholy rites. But if it's so bad, why aren't they called unholy wrongs? He says he could use some backup before heading inside, but I suspect he just wants another body in there with him. In case things go south, he doesn't have to outrun the Daedra. He has to outrun me.
Come out. We know you're here. There's another door. See if you can get it open.
Why do I have to investigate the door?
Stendarr's mercy. This isn't an ordinary Daedra.
What changed all of a sudden? The kettle? No, I'm sorry. I don't like it, kettle. I want buttered popcorn.
Weak.
Oof, now I'm hearing things.
Weak. You're strong. Crush him.
Disembodied voices have never led me astray before.
Come on, let's go.
Yes, your reward is waiting for you, mortal. Further down. Yes, further into the bowels. So close, your prize is waiting.
I really hope it's yes, rusty mace. Awesome.
Fool. Did you think Molag Bal, the Lord of Domination, would so easily reward you?
Kinda.
What do you see from that little cage? Speak.
Tin roof.
Rusted. Dry. There was a time when this mace dripped with the blood of the feeble and the worthless. But a Daedric lord has his enemies, and my rival Boethia had her priest desecrated, left it here to decay, until you came. Revenge? No, I want submission. I want the priest who did this to bend his knee and give me his soul. He comes by to perform Boethia's insulting rites at my altar, but he's been missing, captured and bound, left to rot. Save him. Let him perform his rite one more time. And when he does, we will be waiting for him.
Do you think the princes know when a mortal is playing both sides? When we do Boethia's quest, do you think she's gonna be giving us the side-eye the whole time? The priest of Boethia is currently held prisoner within Broken Tower Redoubt, an abandoned fort that's been overtaken by the Forsworn. Ooh, Daedric weapons are starting to spawn. Neat. At the very top of the encampment, in a dungeon tower, is a single Briarheart, just hanging out near his bloody Dibella statue, as you do. Drawing from the ambient powers of Dibella, we steal the man's heart, sweep him off his feet, and leave him bradycardic. Like, really bradycardic. Asystolic is... Do Briarheart's hearts beat? Logrolf the Willful doesn't believe us when we say Boethia sent us to rescue him, but he does believe Molag Bal sent us. And that's good, because it's the truth. We free him from his bindings, because he's got a ritual to perform. His foresight is impeccable. Returning to the abandoned house, and I can't believe it.
You think you can best Boethia's faithful? I have won this contest before.
Ah, but I have my own champion this time, Logrolf.
What? You?
I literally told you, dude.
Mortal, I give you my mace in all its rusted spitefulness. Crush the spirit from Logrolf's bones. Make him bend to me.
I won't bend.
Yeah, so we kill Logrolf with the mace, Molag Bal resurrects him, we kill him again, and eventually he submits to the torture, pledging his soul to Bal and rejecting Boethia. Who could have seen it coming? Worshipping the god of deceit and murder had unfavorable outcomes.
Kill him. The mace of Molag Bal. I give you its true power, mortal. When your enemies lie broken and bloody before you, know that I will be watching. Now, I have a soul in Oblivion that needs claiming. Take care of the house while I'm gone.
Our reward is, once again, the Mace of Molag and a house. The property taxes are going to be a pain in the ass, though. Markarth real estate is at a premium. The mace deals 25 points of stamina and magicka damage, and also soul traps the target for 3 seconds on strike. It's a shame the effect isn't absorb anymore. It would be great for, say, a vampire who gets caught out during the day with no other way of restoring attributes. But why would Molag want to help a vampire? Speaking of vampires, we've got a bit of work to do in Falkreath. Laud's in the market for a loyal hound to keep at his side, and there happens to be a shaggy dog wandering around the city. To help lure him into town, he gives us a nice crisp piece of meat, and offers us a bit of gold for our service. The dog's name is Barbas. He's an infinite number of years old, but that's in dog years, so he's actually just an infinite number of years old in human years. And he can talk.
You are exactly what I was looking for.
Because he's not just any old dog. He's half of Clavicus Vile, probably the Clavic part. He needs our help. He and his master had a falling out, and now he needs a mortal to help settle the matter. Vile can't manifest far from a shrine, what with Barbas banished and all, so we need to find the shrine first if we want to speak with the prince. Barbas will lead us to one at Haymar's Shame. I know I was just talking about how the Skyrim quests aren't go to shrine, talk to prince, get quest, and we're immediately given a quest that involves going to a shrine and talking to a prince to get a quest. In retrospect, Molag quest is also that, but it feels different. Whatever. Barbas leads us through bandit choke points, takes us down memory lane in Helgen, and drops us in a frozen valley between the mountains. It was at this point, actually, that I realized you can get to Ivarstead without going around the throat of the world. I'm not kidding. I never knew about this path through Helgen. Isn't that crazy? My saying speaking of vampires wasn't just a non sequitur, by the way. This cave is full of vampires. Also, in Oblivion, the vampires of the Vile Lair player home allude to Clavicus Vile being their patron Daedra. This perhaps explains why Cyrodiil's vampires have abilities that allow them to better integrate with society compared to Morrowind's. After killing a dozen or so vampires, we arrive at the shrine of Clavicus Vile. Lord Vile, I have a request.
By all means, let's hear it. It's the least I could do since you already helped me grant one final wish for my last worshippers. They were suffering so from vampirism and begged me for a cure. Then you came and ended their misery. I couldn't have planned it better myself.
So he's basically a genie.
So, what's your heart's desire? What kind of deal can we strike?
I'm just here to reunite you with Barbas.
That insufferable pup, forget it. Request denied, no deal. I'm glad to be rid of him, even if it does mean I'm stuck in this pitiful shrine in the back end of nowhere. Well, perhaps there is a way he could earn his place back at my side. Maybe, but no promises.
What's your offer?
There's an axe. An incredibly powerful axe. An axe powerful enough for me to have quite a bit of fun indeed. If you bring it to me, I'll grant you my boon. No strings attached, no messy surprises. At least not for you. As I recall, it's resting in Rhymerock Burrow. Barbas can lead you right to it. Little Mutt might even earn his place back at my side.
Typical Clavicus Vile, always sending mortals off to fetch a weapon. Oh, there you are, Barbas. Do you know the story behind the axe?
One of Clavicus's little Jess, a wizard named Sebastian Lord, had a daughter who worshipped her scene. When the daughter became a werewolf, it drove Sebastian over the edge. The wizard wished for the ability to end his daughter's curse. Clavicus gave him an axe.
Oh, you're so smart. Who's a good boy? You stay behind. I'll fetch the axe. Oh, the irony of finding this in a vampire dungeon.
A new hand touches the beacon. Listen, hear me and obey. A foul darkness has seeped into my temple. A darkness that you will destroy. Return my beacon to Mount Kilcreath,
Well, Mount Kilcreath is near where Clavicus wants us to go, so this is convenient. But Rimerock Burrow is still on the absolute opposite side of the map, so we got a bit of a journey ahead of us. I swear, it's as far northwest as you could go. Any more northwest and you'd find a bunch of, I don't know, waspy vampires or something.
I will make you the instrument of my cleansing light.
She is still talking. Rimerock Burrow is less of a dungeon and more of just a cave. The axe itself is free to loot off of this table, but the quote-unquote boss, Sebastian Lort, doesn't take too kindly to us stealing from him. And he's a frost mage, so that makes him an asshole. Finish him off with a stab to the cock. Ooh, Staff of Chain Lightning. Say what you will about Skyrim's magic, Chain Lightning is awesome. I do have some unorthodox opinions about magic throughout the Elder Scrolls series. I won't go into it here, but I think Skyrim's magic isn't as bad as people make it out to be. The min-maxing of spellmaking strips magic of its flavor. Unfortunately, most spells in Skyrim also have no flavor. I do like that each element does its own thing. I wish Bethesda did more with that concept. That's a common criticism I have of Skyrim. I love the ideas, but I wish they did more with it. Back at the shrine, we present Clavicus Vile with the axe.
Ah, you've got the axe. And my dog. Splendid. Excellent work. A hero and his faithful companion retrieving the ancient artifact for the prince. It's almost storybook. Ah, but it almost seems a shame to give a weapon like that away, doesn't it? I suppose I could be persuaded to let you keep it. But only if you use the axe to kill Barbas. Simple as that.
The axe isn't an artifact, so we don't want it.
Huh. You're no fun at all. Guess I'll have to make my own fun elsewhere. And with the pup back, I'll be restored to my full power. There's a whole world just waiting for me.
Don't worry, I'll make sure he sees the light. I trusted you, now you trust me.
Ah, that feels so much better. You forget how nice supreme power feels until you've been stuck in a cave for a few years. It's a shame you wished for something so dull as me taking back the mutt. Quite the lack of imagination on your part. A lack of ambition like that really ought to be punished. Perhaps by turning you into a worm, or maybe a few decades,
Oh my god, he doesn't stop talking.
Oh, fine. Have my boon and be done with it. Got more interesting deals to make anyway.
I don't know who's worse, him, Sheogorath, or Meridia. Our reward is the Mask of Clavicus Vile. Instead of boosting our personality, since that attribute doesn't exist in Skyrim, instead it improves prices by 20%, boosts speechcraft by 10 points, and gives us a slightly improved magical regeneration rate. Interesting and all, but speechcraft in Skyrim is really unimportant. Personality-based stuff is underpowered in all the games, honestly. Meridia time.
Restore to me my beacon.
Here's your beacon.
That I might guide you toward your destiny.
Whoa, what? Could have done without the flashbang.
It is time for my splendor
Oh, we're in the air.
to return to Skyrim. But the token of my truth lies buried in the ruins of my once great temple, now tainted by a profane darkness skittering within. The necromancer Malkaran defiles my shrine with vile corruptions, trapping lost souls left in the...
Never thought I'd say this, but Meridia, speak up.
Worse still, he uses the power stored within my own token to fuel his foul deeds. I have brought you here, mortal, to be my champion. You will enter my temple, retrieve my artifact, and destroy the Defiler.
She was motherly in Daggerfall, not in Morrowind, although her Daggerfall artifact, the Ring of Khajiit, was in the hands of Mephala for some reason, and in Oblivion, she was Scottish. Now she's less Scottish, but still harbors a vile hatred for the undead. Cool, light puzzle. My years of training with Galenor's elves have prepared me for this very thing. Oh wow, there's even shadow monsters in here too. Is this quest a reference to Morning's End Part 2? Probably not. What's back here? Nothing. Ah, shit. How could I fit through it one way but not the other? I think my least favorite feature of nearly every single friggin' video game on the planet is the player's avatar having no functioning arms. All they're good for is swinging weapons and shooting guns. Mantle over a slight incline? Absolutely not. The only mantling we do in the Elder Scrolls is reality-altering mythopoeia. Oh, there we go. We're up. The task at hand is simple. Activate the magna geodes throughout the dungeon to unlock the doors, allowing you to progress further into the dungeon, all while being harassed by shadow creatures. At the end of the dungeon, there's a guy. Just a guy doing stuff that Skyrim guys do. He's not a bandit or Dwemer adjacent, so it's magic. Necromancy, specifically. He's also a frost mage, and as we've stated earlier, that makes him an asshole. We did grab a perk that causes our runes to place a damage over time effect on our targets, rather than just exploding. They do 15% of their damage per second for 10 seconds, and it stacks. Once we kill Malkaran, he turns into a shadow ghost himself, but even in spooky wraith form, he's susceptible to our calm spells. While calmed, we dot him up with more fire runes and kill him.
It is done. The Defiler is defeated. Take Dawnbreaker from its pedestal.
Always with the sky shit.
Malkaran is vanquished. Skyrim's dead shall remain at rest. This is as it should be. This is because of you. Take the mighty Dawnbreaker.
Yep, and then she drops us and we'll be saved at the last minute. Dawnbreaker's a neat sword, and it's a new artifact. This is its first appearance. Burns for 10 damage, which I assume is fire damage, and using it to kill an undead has a chance to create a fiery explosion, destroying or turning nearby undead. Handy when we're exploring Draugr-filled dungeons. That is, 90% of Skyrim. I know, it's not actually 90%. I'm exaggerating for comedic effect. The number is closer to 75. We've been in Skyrim for a bit, and I think we can use a change of scenery. I've decided how we'll handle the remaining artifacts in Morrowind. First, Boethia. Remember we had to find a sculptor to repair his statue? Well, the statue's finished now, so we can grab our reward.
You have done well. The shrine is a worthy one, and my power will again be felt. Take this, mortal. Wield the gold brand with a strong hand, and let all know that my shrine has risen.
Goldbrand. It's not a bad weapon. One-handed longblade with a 10 to 50 point damage range, and a 10 to 30 point fire damage enchantment on strike. It's only got 10 strikes worth of charge, but it can be upgraded quite significantly. You gotta be a vampire though. Let's do that now. The upgraded version will make Blood Moon much quicker, and we're gonna have to become a vampire anyway to get Spellbreaker. The Hlaren Ancestral Tomb, not far outside of Alderaan, has a few vampires inside who are of the Quara vampire bloodline. Morrowind has 3 vampire clans, one for each archetype. That's not important right now. We kill him, fiddle with him, contract porphyric hemophilia, wait a few days, rest in a bed, and vampire. We're granted several boosts to our attributes and skills at the cost of being damaged by sunlight and not being able to interact with basically anyone. Literally. No one will offer you their services. You can't even use guild guides to get around. It's rough. And that's why we're gonna pre-complete this next quest. Sirlanwi, a mage in Vivek's Mages Guild, will ask us to kill a man by the name of Shashev in Alderaan. She needs his key. We can actually kill him first, take both his key and his ring, and then go to Vivek before becoming a vampire. We sleep in her bed, now becoming a vampire, and drop Shashev's key before talking to her. We don't want to finish the quest prematurely. She asks us to kill Shashev and bring her his key. But here's where it gets weird. If we have the key in our inventory, along with Goldbrand, and exactly 11,171 septims, when we speak to Sirlanwi, a message will pop up. Go to hell, Carolina. It's a college basketball reference? I don't know. Mark Nelson really liked the Duke Blue Devils, whose rivals were the North Carolina Tar Heels. Another reference to this very same team is that Goldbrand is transformed into Elton Brand. A player on the Blue Devils was named Elton Brand. Yeah, is a pretty overpowered sword. It does 10 to 60 points of damage, while still doing 10 to 30 points of fire damage on strike, but it also fortifies our attack by 30 points for 30 seconds, and restores 10 points of health, also on strike. But the kicker is that the enchantment has the same cost, but it comes with 10 times more total charge, meaning we can strike 100 times before the sword's battery is empty. It's pretty good. I guess technically we destroyed a Daedric artifact in this process, but whatever. Let's get Spellbreaker. Behind the ghost fence within the Salval ancestral tomb lurks a vampire by the name of Mastrius. He's trapped here, stuck in place by the hands of Azura, cursed by the Daedric Prince of Dawn and Dusk. However, he believes he may have found a way to escape. To break the curse, he needs the mythical shield Spellbreaker and the heart of a Daedra. The latter is simple, kill just about any Daedra. The former is within the Dwemer ruins of Bthwand. This Dwemer ruin actually contains nothing of note before you get this quest, save a failed colony of Quama that met its end at the mechanized hands of the Dwarven automatons. It's odd for Morrowind. Most items, even the most powerful items, that are hand-placed in the world aren't contingent on quests. Just because you didn't get the quest to find some artifact doesn't mean it won't be there for you to get it when you get there. Spellbreaker is unique in this regard. It won't spawn until Mastrius tells you to get it. And Mastrius won't speak to you if you're not a vampire, which is why you must be a vampire to get Spellbreaker. Spellbreaker, as you'd expect, is an anti-magic item. Silence for 30 seconds in 30 feet on target, and Reflect 10 to 20% for 30 seconds on self. In Oblivion, it grants a constant spell reflection buff, and in Daggerfall, it allows you to cast spell reflection and cure paralysis, which is pretty different. Returning to Mastrius and giving him the shield and the heart does allow him to break the curse, but he immediately turns on us, so we kill him. I don't know what his end goal was. We take the shield back and head off to get this curse cured. One could argue that curing vampirism is a Daedric quest in and of itself, because you have to do another favor for Molag Bal. Deep within the ruins of Bal-Ur stands a lava-lit shrine to Molag Bal, and if you interact with it while you're a vampire, he yaps. A lot of words to say, go kill Molag Grunda, because she's schloinking with the Frost Atronach Nomeg Gwai. We'll find the two in the dungeon Dubdilla below Mount Asar Nibibi. Honestly, we're yoked out of our mind right now, stupid fast with the power to fly whenever we want. So killing Molag Grunda and her Atronach boy toy is more a task of finding our way through the tunnels than it is actually fighting anything. Both Daedra die, we recall back to Bal-Ur, and are cured of our vampiric curse. Strangely, Molag Bal had to get the cure from Vermina. Quite odd. Vampirism has gone through many changes in the Elder Scrolls series. Perhaps it needs a more thorough investigation. Another day. 2 artifacts remain. First, Solstheim. We've got a whole main quest to complete, but don't worry, it's actually rather simple, especially after you've done it several times. If you'd like a more in-depth playthrough of Blood Moon, I have a couple videos where we did just that. It starts out with soldiers at the fort being grumpy because they ain't got no booze. We discover the priest had stolen the shipment and was hiding it, so we narc on him and ruin his life. Weapons are being smuggled out of the fort, and our investigation leads us to a cavern along the coast, not far from the fort. The enemies are, admittedly, rather strong. So instead of fighting them, we use a scroll of wind form to invisibly get to the end of the dungeon and convince the head smuggler to kick rocks. Back at the fort and oh shucks. Werewolves attacked and kidnapped the captain. Oh gee willikers. To get to the bottom of this, we bring a skull to the skull in the north, and somehow they see this as a kind gesture, and set us off on a series of trials to restore the oneness to the land. We go to each of the ritual stones on the island, do a little quest, and then return to the ritual stone to lock in the spiritual freshness. The wind stone sends us to Glenshul's tomb to free the winds from the greedy man's sack. The Draugr are plentiful, but ignorable. The Waterstone sends us to fetch the Water of Life from a cavern deep below the sea, northwest of the island. The Water of Life looks like Flynn. I suppose alcohol is the Water of Life to some. Brr, it's snowing, oh so cold. The Beast Stone sends us south to find the good beast and ease its suffering. You think this means euthanasia, but actually we have to kill the Reeklings harassing the poor thing, and then remove the arrow from the bear's side. The Sunstone sends us west to the halls of Penumbra, where we must navigate through a gauntlet of Draugr and kill the Graal at the end of the dungeon. With its eye, we melt the ice that cursed these halls, because a place like this shouldn't have any ice. None whatsoever. Ice on Solstheim? What? The Tree Stone sends us east to find the one who has stolen the seeds. Seeds with a capital S, so it's important. This Reekling has the seeds, and so long as he holds them, the Spriggans will do his bidding. But once he's dead and we hold the seeds, the Spriggans mellow out and go back to whatever the hell it is they do. Planting the seeds satisfies the Tree Stone. Finally, the Earth Stone sends us to a nearby cave to fart some rocks. I mean, what can I tell you? Now that the oneness has been restored, the skull set us to proving ourselves even further. Our work is never done. First is the test of wisdom. We have to solve a crime. Guy A is into Guy B's wife, so Guy A took some of his own furs, planted them in Guy B's house, and accused Guy B of stealing from Guy A. We discover this treachery, Guy A confesses, and we're given the choice either to exile him or feed him to a bunch of friggin' wolves. It's faster to exile him, so we do that. To prove our strength, we're sent to deal with some fiery wackiness going on at Lake Fjelding. There's a Draugr Lord sleeping under the icy lake, and we gotta put a stop to his dastardly napping. He's actually a former Skald who meddled with dark magic centuries ago, leading to his exile. Since then, he's been holding fast a barrier protecting the Skald from an onslaught of invading Daedra. He doesn't have the power to do anything beyond holding them back, but with our help, together, we can put an end to the threat. Killing him is faster. Returning to the Skald village initiates the Daedric Prince portion of the expansion. Werewolves, scions of Hircine. We help the Skald defend their home and dispatch the two within the Great Hall. But once all the dust is settled, not only is the chieftain missing, but we've contracted werewolfy tits. Werewolfitis. We were actually given a few cure disease potions back at the fort as if they knew this would happen. And we're ready to get back to working for the Skald. It would probably be faster to do the rest of this questline as a good boy, but cycling back and forth between werewolf and elf is annoying, so we'll do this as an elf. We're sent to fetch the totem of Claw and Fang, in order for the Skald to perform an ancient ritual to contact the Allmaker. The totem is within a werewolf-filled tomb, but if you're quick enough, you can dodge and weave between them and loot the totem without ever having to throw a single punch. We're a touch faster than them, methinks. Next, we must hunt the Spirit Bear, and bring its heart back to the Skald village before sunrise. The Skald hunting party gets torn apart one by one, as is often the case for non-protagonists, but we survive because we're a protagonist. We kill the attacking werewolves, and then hunt down the Spirit Bear, who I'm pretty sure is implied to be the good beast we saved earlier. This feels evil. Part of the Skald's end times prophecy involves dead Horkers washing up upon the shores, and when you know it, there's a bunch of dead Horkers washing up upon the shores. We're sent to Castle Karstag to determine if this is the work of mortals or prophecy. This is actually the hardest part of the entire questline, because you have to protect this little shit while killing just shy of a dozen elephant trolls. And of course, he's too boneheaded to actually run away when he's about to die. When we do make it to the end of the caverns, with Krish still living, we have to protect him again, but now from a bunch of other Reeklings. One obnoxious escort quest later, and we learn from Dulk that they are not the ones responsible for killing the Horkers. In fact, their master, Karstag, was kidnapped by a bunch of werewolves just days ago. Looks like the apocalypse is upon us. We had a good run. Well, no sense wasting these last hours on frivolity. I'm gonna take a nap. Damn it, I can't even sleep in video games without being awoken by a floofy animal. Oh hey, Hircine. Sup, dude?
You have arrived. The others have been here for days now, and you are the last. It is time for my hunt, and you are to take part. I have chosen only the most worthy to take part in the hunt. Carius of the Imperials, Heartfang of the Skald, the Frost Giant Karstag, and you. You have proven yourself a worthy hunter, and so you have been given this honor. You and the others are to find your way to my hunting grounds. Take great care, as only one of you will earn the glory of facing the hunter himself in battle while the blood moon lights the sky. The others have gone ahead, so only you remain to begin. Beware, mortal. My hounds are about, and they hunger for blood. Perhaps I will see you soon. Now go.
Hircine has collected only the most worthy of prey to be part of his great hunt. Our goal is to find our way to his hunting grounds, maneuvering through the mazes just ahead without succumbing to the dozens of werewolves within. Easy enough. You might think you have to fight all the werewolves, but I believe you're intended to just run away from them. You're the prey, they're the predator. Prey that can't win a fight must flee from the fight. It is said that Hircine's elk mask is a trophy he won by slaying Y'ffre's champion, the Grot Elk. Why he slew the elk is up for debate, changing with different retellings of the myth. One story claims he was jealous that Nirni chose Y'ffre over him. That same tale relays that Y'ffre, corrupted by the great darkness Namira, struck Nirni, killing her. In an act of vengeance, Azura, Kenarthi, and Hircine destroyed Y'ffre, and then used his bones as a cairn for Nirni. They say Hircine is fond of the children of Ifrei and Nirni, nonetheless. I like the Khajiit interpretations of the original spirits. None of this Daedra chaff. Just a bunch of timeless beings doing stuff. In the final chamber, we face off against the frost giant Karstag. He's incredibly tanky, and has a sizable regenerate health effect, as well as 50% reflect. But once he's dead, Hircine reappears, congratulating us on a job well done.
You have escaped my hounds and beaten back the other challengers. I had rather expected the giant to prevail, but no matter. You have proven yourself a worthy hunter, and you have earned the greatest honor that can be bestowed upon a mortal. You are to be my prey. I ask you though, what is it that makes a hunter great? Is it his strength, the speed with which he strikes? Or is it his guile, the ability to outwit his prey? Answer me, mortal, and decide your fate.
We choose strength.
So you have chosen, and so shall be your fate. To face me in all my glory would be less than sporting. So you shall face but one of my aspects, the one you have chosen. We have little time. The blood moon sinks low in the sky. Prepare yourself, mortal, for now you are the hunted.
For a hunt to truly be a hunt, and not just an execution, the prey must have an opportunity to overcome the hunter. Hircine will hunt us, but as an avatar, as an aspect of our choosing. The aspect is bulky and powerful, as you'd expect a bear to be, but we're quick and have a bound dagger. Swarm of bees! Attack! I'm the bees.
This cannot be. The blood moon falls, and the prey still lives. You have defeated my aspect, but I will return, mortal. The blood moon will rise again, and my hounds will walk the lands. Let this world enjoy its brief respite, for Hircine will hunt again.
By putting a stop to the Blood Moon prophecies, Hircine recedes from Mundus, left to plan for his next wild hunt, and we return to Solstheim with a special ring in our backpack, Hircine's ring. All that work. By equipping the ring, you turn into a werewolf, whether you've suffered the curse or not, and regardless of the time of day. I assume Hircine gives this out to people who want a trial run of lycanthropy, without them having to make any strong commitments just yet. On to the Ebony Mail. So the natural progression of obtaining this item is by working through the ranks of the Tribunal Temple until you're summoned by Archcanon Tholer Saryani himself. He's retiring and would like you to take his place, but there are a few more pilgrimages you must make. This would take a while. I did do it, actually. I even had to regain all those personality levels we lost from drinking out of the bitter cup, if you remember that escapade, because you need at least 30 personality to join the temple. Instead, you can just perform the final pilgrimage without even joining the temple, and then you can get the Ebony Mail. The Pilgrimage of the Four Corners. Sacrifice a Daedra heart to a shrine to each of the Daedra from the House of Troubles. Malakath in the Sheogorath region west of Dagonfell. Mehrunes Dagon in Ald Sotha outside Vivec. Molag Bal in Bal-Ur, we were there earlier actually, and Sheogorath in Ald Daedroth. Once those pilgrimages are complete, we go to the peak of Mount Asar Nabibi, the place where Boethia allegedly gave birth to Amalexia, pray at the shrine, and receive the Ebony Mail. It grants 75% fire resistance, 20% magic resistance, and 50 points of shield, a similar effect to its Daggerfall incarnation, but not its Oblivion incarnation, because it's not in Oblivion. And that's the last of Morrowind's Daedric artifacts. Back to Skyrim. We left off having just finished Meridia's quest, and will now go in the complete opposite direction, from the Daedric Prince of Light to the Daedric Prince of Primeval Darkness. Numira, Prince of Decay, of Rot, of the unsavory things best left in the dark, of taboos and degeneracy. So of course her quest starts in Markarth, in the Hall of the Dead.
If it's about the Hall of the Dead, no, you can't go in there.
I think I was supposed to come from the other direction. Brother Varulus says the halls are closed for the time being while a sensitive matter is being investigated. But we're a cool guy, so he lets us in on the details. Some of the bodies are being eaten. If we can get to the bottom of this, the priesthood of Archay will surely reward us. Deal with some necrophage freaks? Easy.
Not many would walk blindly into a crypt, smelling of steel and blood, but not fear.
I'm too dumb to be scared, disembodied voice.
I feel the hunger inside of you, gnawing at you. You see the dead, and your mouth grows wet. Your stomach growls.
Nah, I have survival mode turned off.
It's all right. I will not shun you for what you are. Stay. I will tell you everything you have forgotten.
Oh, that's a lot of stuff, lady.
You were young when you first tasted human flesh, weren't you? A brother or sister had died? An accident, of course. Then the hunger set in. Curiosity. What's the harm in just one bite? It's okay now. You found a friend who understands you. You can let go of your guilt.
The fuck are you talking about?
A lot of our kind block out the memory of their first meal. The shame is too much. But you don't need to hide anymore. Namira, the Lady of Decay, accepts you for what you are. She has a place for us where we can sate our appetites without judgment.
Where is this place?
It's inside Reachcliff Cave. But the dead have stirred from their slumber recently, and I was forced here.
Why ever would the dead be stirring amongst cannibals? Surely the cannibals would be the ones doing the stirring, because the meat is tough and is best used for stews. Varulus is relieved that we've solved the mystery of the nibbled cadavers. I don't know how he can be so sure we've succeeded. I don't think Namira said she'd leave would be a very satisfying answer, but he gives us his amulet anyway. I'll treasure it always. Reachcliff Cave is southeast of Kolskager Mine. Not a far journey by the looks of it, but I always get turned around in the Reach, so who knows how long it'll take. An assassin! Wow, he's tanky. Yeah, so that guy, what's been consorting with every single Daedra, yeah, I want you to attack him in broad daylight with a pair of steel swords. Trust me, you'll be fine. Reachcliff Cave. Do you think this is a Heathcliff reference? What with his meat hat and the meat tank? Huh. If it is, that's stupid, and I'm here for it. Frenzy, calm, and a generous use of fire runes makes quick work of all the Draugr, including the Death Lord at the very end. With the shrine once again in the hands of Namira's weirdos, Iola, the head weirdo who probably never bathes, asks that we bring the main course to the grand feast. Brother Varulus. Oh no, not my favorite guy. We tell Varulus that we need the aid of a priest while exploring a dark tomb. He's a bit apprehensive at first, until we pay him for his service, of course. Oh, an eager beaver I see. Does Tamriel have beavers? I've returned, you freaks! So Iola's got some kind of mind control powers, and has convinced Varulus that he's supposed to be here. But he's tired, and needs to lie down on this cozy, raspberry jam-covered bed. Weird. I would have placed my head at the other end.
The meal is on Namira's table. Go ahead, carve. Have the first bite.
Well, when in Rome.
More.
Oh, I knew eating people would give me prions.
I am Namira, the Lady of Decay. Your consumption of the blood and bile of Archay's own is pleasing to me. I give you my ring. Wear it, and when you feast on the flesh of the dead, I will grant you my power.
Thanks, second disembodied voice.
Wallow in your wretchedness, my newest champion.
It's interesting that we speak to Namira at the end of her quest. See what I mean about Skyrim's Daedric quests being less formulaic than the others? The ring increases our stamina by 50 points and allows us to eat corpses, increasing our health and health regeneration. Very different from Daggerfall and Oblivion's versions, where they both have a damage reflection effect, rather than cannibalism on a quip. You may have sometimes noticed afflicted refugees traveling along Skyrim's roads. They're the breadcrumb that leads you to Kesh, a priest of sorts, a priest of Peryite. To commune with Peryite, we must bring Kesh a deathbell flower, 1 silver ingot, a flawless ruby, and vampire dust. A touch more involved than Oblivion's communions. There's a few guaranteed flawless gems on this abandoned rowboat. It's a bit southwest of Skyhaven Temple. The ingot you can buy from most blacksmiths, and the death bell and vampire dust you can buy from most alchemy vendors. We hand the items over to Kesh, and he begins the ritual.
Breathe deep, mortal. I would have you hear me well. So let these vapors fill your lungs.
Periite, your cat disappeared.
I have watched you for some time, you know. The decisions you've made intrigue me, and I wonder if you are the proper agent for a task of mine.
Probably. What do you need?
I sent a blessing to Mundus, a wasting plague that infected a scattering of Breton villages. One of my monks, the elf Orchendor, was sent to gather these afflicted. He shepherded them into Bathardoms for me, but has since lost his way. I will not stand for betrayal. I want you to go to Bathardoms and kill Orchendor in my name.
Kill a elf. Got it.
I can grant you a powerful token for this task. An escutcheon of Dwemer-Mig, capable of shielding you from both the spell and sword. Return when the elf lies dead, and it will be yours.
I hope Test 6 does more with Periite, more than just a single Daedric quest. He's probably the least examined Daedra, but his alternate title of Taskmaster adds a layer of intrigue I'd love to see expanded upon. His sphere is said to be the ordering of the lowest order of Oblivion, according to the Book of Daedra. What does that even mean? Is disease the lowest order of Oblivion? Is disease from Oblivion? Can disease affect other planes of Oblivion? How much power does Periite actually wield?
Is someone there?
The Afflicted are an interesting enemy. We lost poison magic, but these cultists can vomit the stuff. Alright, I bet Dwemer spiders are gonna jump out of these wall holes. We'll place a few fire runes, so... Oh, geez! Good thing I placed a bunch of fire traps. Ah, here he is. Resisted the lightning bolt? Is he immune to shock? And fire? Oh my god, he's a frost mage. Oh, the chilly asshole. We have to use melee on this guy. Damn. That's a very un-Skyrim thing to do, honestly. Skyrim is usually very forgiving to just about all builds. Oh ho ho! Calm works on him, though. Stealth triumphs once again. Back to Periite's Snot Cauldron.
Well done, mortal. All things are in their order. Another overseer will replace Orchendor when the time comes. For now, all is cleansed and ordered. Embrace order and hard truth, mortal. Goodbye.
Embrace order and hard truth. Is Periite the Daedric Prince of the Circle of Life? He grants us Spellbreaker, a Dwemer-forged shield that, like its previous incarnations, protects the wielder from offensive magics. Unlike its previous versions, however, it instead creates a ward while blocking, negating up to 50 points of magic damage. Wards are actually really effective due to how they scale against game difficulty. Magic damage isn't increased by a higher difficulty until you take damage, so a 50-point fireball that should deal 150 points of damage on legendary difficulty will be fully absorbed by the ward on this shield. If I understand UESP correctly, that is. If it's a 60-point damage spell, 50 will be absorbed, but then you'll take 30 damage because it'll be 10 that gets tripled. I've never played with wards in Skyrim because they're so magicka hungry. I know perks can make them more efficient, and another perk absorbs some of the magic from the spells they stop, but if they don't feel good to use from the beginning, why would I invest perk points into them when I could just be a stealth archer? Speaking of stealth, I just want the gear. Can't free them, so this is a mercy. Let's pay a visit to the orcs of Lagashpur. They've got a small giant problem. But it's got an easy solution. Yamars, the camp's chief, is weak, and the giants sense this and have been intruding on their territory. They believe their tribe's suffering is due to a curse. Atub wishes to petition Malakath for aid, but Yamars has forbidden anyone from leaving the camp. She cannot go to his shrine. To perform the ritual within the stronghold, she needs the heart of a Daedra and troll fat. How very Oblivion of her. We return to Dagon's shrine and get a Daedra heart from the respawning Dremora there, and buy troll fat from Arcadia in Whiterun. She doesn't have any. We steal a pot of fat from the companions. There's a Daedra heart right here. God damn it.
Now we begin the ritual. Great Malakath, we beseech you, aid us in our time of need.
Why are we bothering with this?
You pathetic weakling!
What's that?
Malakath has heard my pleas. He speaks to us.
You dare summon me, Yamars?
What? What is this?
You don't deserve to call yourself an orc. You're weak, you're small, and you're an embarrassment. You let giants overrun my shrine. Bring me their leader's club as an offering, and I might release you from this curse.
So it will be. Malakath has spoken, Yamars. Your path is clear.
Very well. You, outsider, come here. I want a word.
We got a giant to kill, and Yamars demands we come with him. You know, because he's such a strong and powerful warrior. He needs a bodyguard, to conserve strength, obviously. Off to Fallowstone Cave. Ooh, this is an atmospheric dungeon. There's something about trees, growing in places you wouldn't expect them to grow, that just resonates with me. Don't know why. As the two of us approach the giant chieftain, Yamars presents us with an offer. There's some extra gold in it if we kill the giant for him. We bring him its hammer, and he'll tell the stronghold he slew the giant. How hard could it be to pull one over on the Daedra Prince of Vengeance? And even if he catches you, I mean, what's he gonna do? What would the Daedra Prince of Vengeance ever do? He's gonna punish you? Yeah, right. Well, that was simple.
You have a true fighting spirit. Did that better than I could have. Of course, I can't let you leave here alive.
I've been betrayed.
Wouldn't want anyone finding out.
Calm down, dude. Oh, because he's a follower, I can't actually get behind him. He just keeps following me around. You see, that's the struggle of a Nightblade. If you can't get the drop on... Oh, thanks, Dagon.
Yamars was a fool, always trying to scheme his way out of responsibility. But you took care of him and the giants. 2 problems solved at once. Now, take Shagrel's hammer back to Largishburg, and we'll see about whipping the rest of them into shape.
Right, back on track. To Largishbur. When we return to the stronghold and bring the hammer to Atub, Malakath chimes in to fill her in on the sordid details.
Yamars was a coward and a weakling. His deceitful ways have cost you all greatly.
So he has been punished. And what of us? What fate shall we suffer?
You'll have to prove yourselves, but I'm willing to give you a chance. Gullerzo's in charge now. Let's hope he's a better chief. You place that hammer on the shrine. You're the only one who's proven worthy in all of this.
Ah, Shagrol's hammer has transformed into Volendrung before our very eyes. It's still a two-handed warhammer, but now it only absorbs 50 points of stamina on strike. Perhaps useful for a power attack reliant build, but the paralysis and health drain effect from the earlier games would probably serve that build much better. All this work has gotten me thirsty. This Sammy fella seems like a fun guy to drink with, and he'll give us a staff if we beat him in a drinking contest.
This is a special brew. Very strong stuff. Let's get started.
Taylor, another round.
A few drinks.
I
I'll start
think you've
round
had
one.
plenty, Volwolf.
Down the hatch.
Maybe you should head on home.
You stupid lizard. I said give me some more drink, or I'll have your head on that pike.
Your turn. And another one for me.
Helga, do you mind? Whoa.
I presume you're bothering me. For a good
Excuse me.
friend.
Rude.
Wow. You've really done it.
Drink to
The
those
staff
who
is
have
yours.
May their souls
You know, you're a
find their
fun
way to
person to drink
Sovngarde.
with. Hey, you don't look so good.
Wake up. That's right. It's time to wake up, you drunken blasphemer.
Aw, did I get the hangover? Now we gotta figure out what the hell happened, and where Sam ran off to. He still owes us a staff. This Priestess of Dibella, baby, recalls us mentioning something about Rorikstead, so that's our next lead. In Rorikstead, local farmer Ennis has some choice words for us. Apparently we've committed some acts he finds disagreeable, such as kidnapping his Gleda and selling her to a giant.
I'll never breed another prize-winning goat like Gleda.
Oh, it's only a goat. Whew. Because we're level 30-something, he's receptive to more assertive methods of persuasion. He says we left behind an illegible note, but part of it says after repaying Isolde in Whiterun. She gave us a wedding ring on credit, and we still owe her.
It's not about the money, really.
What? She's a shitty merchant. Okay, so what did I do with it?
You went right out to give it to your fiancé. Don't you even remember where you left her? And after you told me that sweet story of how you met in Witchmist Grove, I can see why she left you.
Friggin', I don't care about the ring. What? Oh, Fina, I swear to... What else did I say?
All right. You're mean when you're sober. You said the ceremony was going to be in Morvenskar. You said your friend Sam was going to be your best man.
Are you kidding me? You reserve a venue, and then go and do this. Where's Sam? Oh, a door. Huh. Did I unwittingly stumble upon another Daedric quest? What a fool I am. Oh, silly me. Sanguine, what a crazy party guy. What fault can we find in such a carefree lug? Some partygoers aren't allowed to leave and have committed suicide to escape? Oh, I guess his parties are just a real killer.
This may have begun as a minor amusement, but it wasn't long before I realized you'd make a more interesting bearer of my not-quite-holy staff. But I think it's time for you to go. No fun keeping you locked up in here with the staff.
You look like you could use a drink. What do you say to some cheap mead?
Nah, man, I'm good. For participating in Sanguine's little game, he awards us the Sanguine Rose, a staff that summons a Dremora companion for 60 seconds, duration increased by perks. Better than Oblivion's, where the Daedra summoned was random and possibly aggressive. Falkreath's a nice place. Quiet, peaceful, idyllic. What you looking at?
Heard about you and your honeyed words.
I think he's dumb. Anyway, we're here to speak with one of the prisoners being held in their dungeon. Sinding, a werewolf. What prince do you think this will lead us to?
A little girl is dead because of me.
Well, that's one way to say you ripped a child to pieces.
Believe me, it wasn't anything I ever intended to do. I just lost control. I tried to tell them, but none of them believed me.
Yeah, even if they believed you, it wouldn't make it much better.
It's all on account of this blasted ring. This is the Ring of Hersing. I was told it could let me control my transformations. Perhaps it used to, but I'll never know. Hersing didn't care for my taking it, and threw a curse on it. I put it on, and the changes just came to me. I could never guess when. It would be at the worst times. Like with the little girl.
Consider removing the ring?
I don't suppose there's a point in keeping the secret if I'm going to die in here anyway. I'm sure you've heard of men who shift to beasts under the influence of the moons. I am one of them. A werewolf. It's my secret and my shame. That's why I wanted the ring. It was said to give men like me control. Now, I may look like a man, but I still feel the animal inside of me as strong as ever.
So are you just gonna stay here and rot?
I've been looking for a way to appease Hirsing. There is a certain beast in these lands. Large, majestic. It's said that Hirsing will commune with whoever slays it. I tracked it into these woods, but then I had my accident with the child. I want to beg his forgiveness. Give him back the ring. But while I'm stuck in here, the beast wanders free. It would probably be best for everyone if I just went away.
And kill another child? It's a miracle they haven't chopped your head off yet, dude. Just give me the ring. I'll deal with it.
Oh my. You would do this for me? Seek out the beast. He wanders these woods. Bring him down and... well, the Lord of the Hunt should smile on you. I wish you luck. But you leave here while I still have my skin.
Accepting the ring forces it onto our finger. The wearer may randomly become a werewolf. We ought to get out of town before it triggers and we murder a kid. There's our quarry, upon the ridge. The cunning predator evaluates his target and, just like the hunter-gatherers of old, lobs a fireball. Killing the white stag rouses Hirsing's attention, summoning a spectral stag.
Well met, hunter. I am the spirit of the hunt. Just one glimpse of the glorious stalker that your kind calls Hirsing.
Neat. Can you remove the curse from this ring?
I may consider it. But you must first do a service for my glory. The one who stole it has fled to what he thinks is his sanctuary. Just as a bear climbs a tree to escape the hunt, but only ends up trapping himself. Seek out this rogue shifter. Tear the skin from his body and make it an offering to me. Fly, my hunter. There are others who vie for my favor. A bit of competition. Don't dally while the prey flees.
Oh, the irony. To remove the curse from this ring, we must slay the very werewolf that asked us this favor. We head north to Bloated Man's Grotto in pursuit of the rogue shifter, and upon our arrival, we see the hunt has already begun.
If you spare me, I can be a powerful ally to you. And I would promise to never return to civilized life.
I'm here for the artifact, so I cannot spare you, Sinding. Don't you dare, Rissing. This kill is mine. Oh, he heals fast. Out of my way. I suspect this is a scripted thing. Gotta fight through all the other mortals before I can 1v1 Sinding.
Damn wizard, keep your spells off of me.
Damn it, Sinding. Can we just... This isn't very sporting. Enough of this. Oh, well then. It seems shouting enough was the trick. Let's skin this puppy.
You've done well, hunter. And found my favor. That skin will serve you well, child. Look more closely at it. My glory shall protect you from all this world's grievances. Good hunting.
We lose the cursed ring of Hirsing, but gain the Savior's Hide. Increases magic resistance by 15% and poison resistance by 50%. The numbers are higher because of our enchanting perks. Gotta say, it's just getting worse and worse. The original Savior's Hide was said to be made from the hide of Hirsing himself, so maybe that's the issue. This one is just made out of a guy. Peak Hirsing is Morrowind Hirsing. The next artifact we're interested in getting requires that we do a bit of the main quest first. With us being like level 30, it's all rather trivial. Assault Bleakfall's Barrow, get the Dragonstone, return it to Farengar, body check every NPC so they just get on with it, kill Murmelnir, and get yelled at by the mountain monks. Hulda at the Bannered Mare has heard tell that one of the Jarl's kids is turning wicked, and if we confront Balgruuf about it, he reacts as if it's not a personal matter.
He was always a quiet lad, but lately, something has changed. He's become brooding, violent. He won't say a word to me, but I don't know how I upset him.
Teenagers, am I right?
If you could speak to him, draw out the truth, I would be immensely grateful.
The son he's talking about is the smug one. The here to lick my father's boots kid. There's a reason why he's such a dick.
So, the disgusting pig sent you to bother me. One day, I'll tear his face apart so he can leave me alone. My father doesn't know anything about me. But I know about him, and about the war. More than he might think. I know that he still worships Talos. That he hates the Thalmor almost as much as the Stormcloaks do. That he worries about being chased from Whiterun. That I don't have the same mother as my brother and sister.
How do you know these things?
This castle is old. Lots of places nobody's been in a long while. Places where you can overhear things, see things. And the Whispering Lady.
Whispering Lady?
She won't tell me her name. I've gotten good at listening to keyholes. At the door in the basement, I hear her talking to me, but I can't open the door.
So the kid's been talking to a strange voice in the basement. Does Dragon's Reach have a squatter living in the walls?
At last. I've been waiting for someone more fit to carry out my will. The child is spirited but lacks agency. But I forgive you for not knowing who I am. Few hear my whispers anymore. I am Mephala.
Oh, thank God.
The Lady of Whisper.
It's just a Daedric prince.
I tug at the web of connections between mortals. Love, hatred, loyalty, betrayal. The boy was good at sussing out secrets. You, I expect to take a more active role.
What do you want me to do?
First, you must open this door. A piece of my power has been locked away behind it, and even my eyes cannot see past the seals. I'd much rather it be in the hands of an ambitious and talented person, such as yourself.
How do I open the door?
The whole of Whiterun is ripe with paranoia and tensions. The Jarl's court is right to fear the power I hold behind this door. The Jarl trusts few, and they will be his undoing. The Dark Child knows of what I speak. Let him guide your path.
I'm sure her voice actor was told to deliver every line as if she was just on the edge of climaxing. The door is locked, and according to Nelkir, only Balgruuf and Farengar have copies of the key. We could kill Farengar, and I think that's the only reason starting the main quest is a prerequisite. Gotta make him non-essential first. We can just pick his pocket though. With the key, we unlock the Whispering Door, and is just a room, with the ebony blade on a table. A two-handed katana that absorbs the life of its foes, strengthened by deceit. A surprisingly simple Daedric quest, honestly. I kinda don't like it. It's very, why does Balgruuf, why do they have this sword? Do they know it's here? You wouldn't realize this was a Daedric quest until you were actually talking to Mephala though, so that's interesting.
To return to its past glory, it must first drink the blood of deceit. Your world is admirably steeped in lies and inclinations. My blade is a darling leech that feeds on deceptions and nourishes its master. Seek out those closest to you. The final pluck of their misguided heartstrings will accompany my blade in a song of your grandeur.
Now, if we want to unlock this weapon's full potential, we need to kill those who consider us friends. Our journey is coming to an end quite soon, so that's not really on the agenda for today. But that doesn't mean we can't have a little bit of treachery. Mercurio patronizes the Bean Barb in Riften, waiting to provide his services as a skilled battle mage to any traveler with spare money. It's a fair sum, only 500 gold. How can I refuse? Mercurio is a noble mercenary. He'll follow us to the ends of the Nirn. always by my side. His services shall be forever valuable. Why, he's even willing to follow us to the frigid wastes outside Windhelm, to the top of a mountain, to the Cecellum of Boethia, where a group of cultists awaits. We've come to test our mettle. First, we must convince someone to follow us to the shrine and instruct them to touch the pillar of sacrifice, ensnaring them in Boethia's grasp. At which point, we are to drive the ceremonial blade into the heart of our sacrifice. Only then will Boethia grace us with her presence. I hope you didn't hear any of that, Mark.
What do you need?
Touch that pillar.
Okay, got it.
Nothing personal, dude.
Tell me, why have you slain this one who trusted you here upon my shrine?
I killed Mercurio so we could have a little chat.
I should slay you for such insolence. You have much to learn, though perhaps you are not entirely useless. We shall soon find out. Listen, all of you! Hear me. I have need of a warrior. Only the most ruthless, cunning, and agile will do. You have gathered here night after night, sacrificing fools upon my shrine, and sparring aimlessly with yourselves. But which among you truly exceeds the rest? Prove yourselves to me. I have a special task for whichever of you is left standing.
Everyone dies. Oh, they're more tanky than I expected. Well, Battle Royale tactic. Wait for everyone else to kill each other and then swoop in at the last minute.
Well done. You have proven the strength of your will and your tongue's gift for lies. You have shown ferocity and prowess in combat. Now the time has come for a final proving. Are you able to cast aside your honor and strike with the hidden blade?
Uh-huh. I'm your gun, Lady Boethia. Just point me in the right direction.
My previous champion displeases me. It is time he is replaced, in the traditional fashion. You will find him holed up at Knife Point Ridge, where he plays king to bandits and highwaymen.
Knife Point Ridge. Her champion is abusing the powers Boethia gave him, and she would see him punished. Kill everyone there and earn the Ebony Mail. She says to do it stealthily, but I'm sure that doesn't actually matter. This is Skyrim. Your choices mean nothing. Oh, well, my choice to do Mephalah's quest has these damn dragons spawning now. Something I should do more often in these multi-game videos is make passive-aggressive comments about every Elder Scrolls title, and utterly confuse all the annoying turbo nerds that are watching. You know the ones. They go rabid if you so much as utter that more than one Elder Scrolls game is actually good. The ones who have to prove that their opinion is the correct one, and you know which game is the favorite of 80% of them. You insult Skyrim, you insult Oblivion, lure them into a false sense of security, and then just tear into the flaws of Morrowind's magic system. They'll short-circuit. I swear. That hypothetical had to have popped a blood vessel. Sneak attacking through a dungeon is easy when you have illusion magic at the tips of your fingers. Boethia's champion dies, and we take from his corpse our reward, the Ebony Mail. You are able to move more quietly, and opponents that get too close take 5 points of damage per second. Couldn't be any more different than its previous incarnations. In Daggerfall, Morrowind, and even in Arena, it provided fire resistance, spell resistance, and shield. It went to study abroad in Oblivion. And when it came back, it was forever changed.
You have done well, my champion. You have earned my respect, a feat few manage and live to tell about. I shall write your name upon the tablet of absolute darkness. You may keep my Ebony Mail, a token of my appreciation to my new champion. Its gifts will resonate with your talents.
We have but one more artifact, Can you believe it? What a marathon we've been on, huh? First, we've got a crazy iceberg wizard to talk to, Septimus Cygnus.
Ah, the ice entombs the heart. The bane of Kagranak and Dagother.
Oh my god, Skyrim predicted Morrowind. Anyone who's done the main quest knows what he's asking of us. Go to Mazark and slot his fantasy USB cube into the Dwemer Sprongles and download the data the Dwemer machines glean from the Elder Scroll. Simple. We just gotta navigate Blackreach to get there. This whole dungeon, although long and varied, is rather simple when you can calm any NPC you fail to get a sneak attack on. Dwemer Spheres? No problem. Falmer? Not one concern. Centurion? More like Century off. Once we get to this place, we drop the lexicon into the thing, fiddle with the robo nipples until the mechanism reveals the Elder Scroll, take the Elder Scroll, and take the runed lexicon. The scroll is neat, but we don't actually need it for what we're doing. With the data inscribed in the lexicon, Septimus deciphers how to get inside the mysterious Dwemer box he's been shacking up with. He needs blood from each of the elven races of Tamriel, or the elven races that exist in Skyrim, at least. This confluence of bloods should trick the box into thinking it's being fed Dwemer blood. Sure, as we leave Septimus's cave...
Come closer, bask in my presence. I am Hermaeus Mora. I am the guardian of the unseen, and knower of the unknown. I have been watching you, mortal. Most impressive. Your continuing aid to Septimus renders him increasingly obsolete. He has served me well, but his time is nearing its end. Once that infernal lockbox is opened, he will have exhausted his usefulness to me. When that time comes, you shall take his place as my emissary. What say you?
Yeah, alright.
Indeed. Speak with me when the box has been opened, and all shall be revealed.
Duplicitous creatures, these Daedric princes. I'd hate to be one of their champions. Collecting the blood is rather simple. A single run through a bandit camp should get you a few of the bloods you need, although this one only had a Dunmer. I personally like the Halted Stream camp because there's a guaranteed dead high elf here, and the boss is an orc. The random thugs are likely to contain a couple elves too. We got orc, high elf, and wood elf from this one dungeon. The last elf we need is a Falmer. Ironically, we had to kill loads of them on our way through Blackreach. We're not going to go back to Blackreach though, because there's an easier option for us. Shimmermist Cave. It's not far from Whiterun, and you don't have to fight through a bunch of Dwemer automatons first. With all 5 bloods combined, Septimus Cygnus becomes Captain Planet, but he's subtle about it. Likes to keep that fact close to his chest, along with the blood extractor device, because the mixture needs his own blood as well. I assume he's a Breton. Bretons are kinda elves, so yeah. Huh, it's bigger on the inside.
What is this? It's just a book. I can...
Oop, couldn't finish his subtitles. Well, I'm sure I'll be fine to take it.
Come, my champion. Now, you have my Ogma Infinium. It contains the knowledge of the ages, as revealed to Xarxes, my loyal servant. For hundreds of years, it's been shut away from the world. Septimus was a useful tool for unleashing it. Now, it is in your hands. Let us work wonders together.
I am curious how the Ogma Infinium got inside a Dwemer box, though. Mora says it's been missing for hundreds of years, which is totally reasonable. It's been 200 years since the events of Oblivion. But the Dwemer disappeared in the first era. Why is it in this box? I guess there could be more than one, or it could pop in and out of time in random locations. Daedric artifacts are known for their wanderlust. Like the previous games, the Augma Infinium empowers you. In Arena and Daggerfall, it gave attributes. In Oblivion, it gave attributes and skill levels. In Skyrim, it just gives skill levels. 5 points to the 6 skills in one of the archetypes of your choosing. So that's the Daedric artifacts. I'm sure I missed a couple, honestly. I don't think I did, but I'm only human. The princes can't even keep track of these things. You think I can? Overall, the most interesting quests are Skyrim's. They're not nearly as uniform as Oblivion's, and sometimes they can just pop up where you wouldn't expect them. A guy asks you to find a dog, and then you get taken to Clavicus Vial. There's a haunted house, Moloch Baal. Evil brooding children in Whiterun, Dormafala. And even the shrine-based quests are novel. Azura's shrine is massive enough to see in the distance. It's a landmark that draws you in. Meridia's shrine summons you when you randomly find her beacon. And Boethia, it's metal as hell. Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum is Morrowind. Many of the Daedric artifacts aren't even given to you by princes. They're just in the world, with other adventurers. Morrowind only has 7 Daedric quests, 8 if you count Blood Moon, but 14 artifacts. All the other games have an equal number of quests as artifacts. There's something appealing about Morrowind's get-looking approach. The greatest criticism I have for Skyrim's princes is their voices. Skyrim is plagued with same voice actoritis, and it really shows with the princes.
I wonder if you are the proper agent for a task of mine. I am the spirit of the hunt. Just one glimpse of the glorious stalker that your kind calls Hircine.
Peak Daedric voice is Hircine's in Morrowind.
Ah, you have arrived. The others have been here for days now, and you are the last.
He sounds menacing, feral, and cunning, as opposed to Skyrim where he just sounds like an elf with reverb. The overall spirit of the princes, though, I think it's been well maintained. Except maybe Sanguine. He's been sanitized. He went from Prince of Dark Desires to Dionysus. Wine and partying. The insidiousness of Dark Desires is woefully understated. Prince's spheres can overlap, and in Daggerfall, Sanguine's sphere is most certainly butted up against Moloch Baal's. In Oblivion and Skyrim, not as obvious. Maybe Bethesda wanted there to be fewer obviously evil princes. Well, that's the Daedric artifacts. This video sure took some time to make, but I'm glad I finally did it. Would you believe I started working on this back in September of 2024? If you've made it this far, and you're still awake, thanks for watching the whole thing. I really like these collection videos. They have the same clear goal that beating the game has, but it's not just beating the game. Collecting things in other games could also be fun. But Elder Scrolls is what I know best, and there's still plenty more to collect. Skill books, dragon shouts, unique items. Any ideas? Let me know.